got to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, they said, all right, you broke your neck. We're going to check out the x-rays and we'll let you know the severity of it. Wow. And I couldn't move. Right side of my body couldn't move. It was terrible. And after the x-rays, they said, okay, you're lucky. God is good.
I went from condos to Pop's house, on calls now bus routes.
What up? It's your boy Paul P. I serve God. I'm not God. This is just my opinion. And welcome to another episode of the Nothing to Something Podcast.
There it is.
Man, today we back and we got a part 2.
Come on.
With the bro.
Come on.
You already know who he is. Man, he doing his thing right now too. The one and only Omar Gooding.
Woo woo. Yes, sir. Come on. Good to see you. Back at it. New look. I like it.
Appreciate it.
I like it.
That's what's up.
Same flavor. New look. Same flavor. I love the Laker action. I love it.
Yes.
Good times, man.
Yeah, but you was actually kind of talking about the Lakers, man. They looking nice, right?
They looking real good. Man. A lot of people were talking about LeBron leaving and how do I feel, and I was appreciative. I think he stayed about a few years too long. Just in my opinion, I don't know. I think it kind of hurts his legacy to be somewhere 8 years and only get one. But he got the most important one, which was the Kobe ring.
Yes.
And that Kobe's the only person to ever win a ring after death. Because it was, come on now, when your man AD hit that shot and yelled Kobe right in the butt. Come on now.
Yeah,
we knew who that was for. They was winning that one regardless. I just got to say.
It
didn't matter. Bubble, no bubble, Hubble, it don't matter. They was winning that. But excited about the Lakers, man. I think it's gonna be a real good season.
Yeah, man. We got a squad, man. Luka, AR, a big boy from Utah, man. Kessler.
Yeah, I mean, you got Luka's proven, right?
Yeah,
You've got issues about him getting in shape. I think he solved those last year.
Yeah.
You got issues with his defense. I think it's one of them things. He's such an offensive threat and talent that you're just going to lose some on defense. He's saving all his energy for offense. So we need players around him that are playing defense.
Yeah.
Austin is doing the best he can. I'm happy that he got better because he always disappeared in the playoffs. So what's up? Why is he going you can't find this man in the playoffs?
Yeah.
So then this time he got hurt, played through the injury, and then balled out them last couple games before it was all over with. So I'm excited about him. Hopefully he's not just a signing deal type of thing, unless it's somebody like, I don't know, Giannis. But it'd be like, bye. But I hope we keep him together. I think Kessler's gonna do well.
Yeah.
This new kid that came out that we got at the 24th pick as a steal. I can't believe it.
Oh yeah. He looking nice in summer league.
Looking nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's feeling real Kobe-ish. I mean, he came out the 24th pick.
Yeah.
Kessler played in number 24 last year. He can't wear it now.
Yeah, no.
So it's a lot of Kobe little undertones going on.
Yeah.
And it's chocolating up. It's chocolating up. Everybody's like, y'all got number white boy. It's chocolating up. We got some salves coming off the bench. You know what I mean? And we got a lot of rumors going around. We getting a couple more little pieces. I'm telling you, the odds gonna go up.
Yeah.
Place your bets now if you gamble. If you do that.
Right. I mean, look, we got a chance to get Kaminga.
If we get Kaminga,
that'd be nice.
We're an absolute problem.
Yeah, we are definitely a problem. In the West.
The West.
Yes.
And the East is what it is. I mean, I'm not afraid of him. I'm not afraid of him. It'll be interesting to see where LeBron goes. It'll be interesting. I don't think it'll scare me. I can't think of where he will go to make me go, damn. Miami could be interesting though.
Yeah, that's
Miami
true.
could be interesting.
It will.
If he goes back to Cleveland, he's got something to play for. That that damn around that could be interesting.
Yeah.
The Golden State thing, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll work. I think there's too many.
That's for tickets.
That's for tickets. I don't think they.
I mean, what they gonna do?
He ain't gonna shoot a lot and pass a lot. You know what I mean? Steph's a bad man pajama.
Steph is a bad dude. You know?
Yeah, he's that guy.
But what they gonna do on defense?
But what they gonna do on defense? LeBron helps a little bit, but that's about it. There ain't too much he can do. That age got to kick in at some point.
Yeah, right.
Like, he was phenomenal last year for a 41-year-old. He was phenomenal, period. And for the fact that you had to remind yourself how old he was.
Yeah.
But I just I had so many debates with my friends about him and how he gets down, and watching him on my team, I'm able to appreciate him more in the long run. I could say, okay, LeBron is a bad man pajama. The way he got down, the preparation, the process, how he outworks folks. And, I differ with how it makes players around you better. The real problem I have is his temperament. Like, for him to be a millionaire or billionaire, excuse me, and still feel so passionate about the game, that's impressive. Facts. But I don't want passion to where you're crying about a foul so much that you now lose the game.
Facts.
Like he didn't get fouled. He's like, all right, you got fouled. You didn't get the call. Get over it. Move on to the next play. No, he wants to complain, and then sit on the bench slumping, and now the whole team, boom, you lose the game. That's crazy. That's crazy. Or even when JR, when he was still in Cleveland, JR made the bad pass that could have won that first game. He soaked the whole overtime, and they lost the game. I was like, man, I can't. No.
Yeah, facts.
There was a saying I kept saying throughout his whole stint. Kobe would never.
Never.
Kobe would
never.
There was so many things he did. I was like, Kobe would never. Kobe would never. And they were like, oh, he couldn't get out of Kobe's shadow. Yeah, he never will. That's just, he should have came to the Lakers if that's what he was trying to do.
Right. LeBron is passive aggressive though.
Yes.
I mean, I think we all know that. Great player, but very passive aggressive. You know what I'm saying?
And just all them looks and be like, oh, he about to get traded.
Right.
And I don't know, he just kept starting over every season. We had a new team. This last couple years, we finally had the same squad and was building some chemistry.
Yeah.
And that big trade came in, and now it's like, boom. I honestly just think, Luka was just over it. He's like,
I agree.
It's weird that he wouldn't want to just take a free championship. Like, people saying he faked the injury because he didn't want LeBron to win. I'm like, that's crazy.
I don't know.
I don't agree with it. I just had to say it because a friend of mine said it, and we talked for about an hour back and forth on it, and I was just like, nah, man, I don't see why you would just throw a ring away.
Yeah, he wouldn't go. I don't think he would go that far. We had a good chance. If we had Luka, we had a good chance.
There was so many opportunities where we were one possession away, and you had the feeling like, damn, if Luka was in there, this is where Luka hits that shot.
That's where he hit the shot.
You know what I mean? Defense was fine. Defense was fine, but we needed a little more offense, and he had a lot more just sitting there hurt. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Great year. Can't wait.
Yes. I'm excited. I'm excited for it too, brother. One thing that I wanna touch on, man, because that was the first time, man. As I brought up a little earlier, man. I don't know if I brought it up yet here, but it was your 50th birthday.
Yes. And, to clarify, I'm on a tour called This Is 50. Okay. Now this tour, I will be on until I turn 51. But I didn't turn. Okay. I actually don't turn 50 until October 19th. Yeah. But I'm starting the tour now. Gotcha. See, I had an injury. I was injured about 3 months ago. Broke my neck. It was real.
Are you serious?
It was a terrible accident. Yeah, and the doctors were like, when I got to the hospital, they said, all right, you broke your neck. We're gonna check out the X-rays and we'll let you know the severity of it. Wow. I couldn't move. Right side of my body couldn't move. It was terrible. And after the X-rays, they said, okay, you're lucky. God is good. Well, they didn't say God is good, doctors. Yeah. But they said, you're lucky. But they said, you're very lucky. You're very lucky. You do not need surgery, but you're going to have to wear this neck brace for 3 months. And I was like, look at that. Man. And it wound up being after the first month, I got a second opinion, if you will. And the surgeon saw the injury and he said, wow, you're healing pretty fast here. I think 1 more month, you could take this neck brace off. I was like, look at God. So after the second month, I was able to ease out of it. Yeah. And I could he said, take it off a couple hours at a time and then work your way back up. You know what I mean? So I was on my way to do a show when it happened. And I had to postpone, about 2 months worth of work and reschedule a bunch of stuff. So I was like, okay, when I'm good, I'm coming out guns blazing, so to speak. I'm starting this tour called This Is 50 Tour because I had all these dates already lined up. So I'm like, okay, this is my celebration of 40 years in the industry or more, a little bit over, and me turning 50 this year. And then all through the next year, I'm going to be rocking this tour. So it's fun, man. I did the first one you came to. This is 50. That was stop number 1. I had to do it at home in LA.
Nice.
Stop number 2 is tomorrow in Vegas. Yeah. Stop 3 will be in Virginia. I got a show in Dallas. And it's just on and on and on.
Yeah.
And it was adding dates every day. So.
And it was dope, brother. Like I that was my first time ever seeing you do stand up. Like of course we saw you do your thing. Yes. Nice. Yeah. So we saw you do your thing, acting wise on movies and films and everything like that. But I was like, dang, bro, go hard.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too, because the best thing about stand up is it's therapy. Yeah. Like the thing that attracted me to stand up comedy, I was talking to my friend who is a stand-up comedian, Charles Allen. And we were just venting, talking mess. Man, this is some craziness. Woo, this happened, blah, blah, blah. And I'm mad because I'm talking about it and he's laughing. And you ever tell somebody something that you're upset about and they're laughing and you're like, that's not funny, man. And now you're both laughing and it's therapy. You're getting over it. So I was telling them a story about something and he's laughing. I'm like, and you over here laughing, and he goes, brother, I'm got to tell you, are you writing this stuff down?
Yeah.
Because that is some good material right there. And I went, really? And when he said that, something clicked. And I start writing stuff down. Now, if I'm driving and something happens and I think about it, I always talk to myself now.
Yeah.
Now, I used to talk to myself as a little kid, as imaginary friends, all that. Before I was an actor.
Yeah.
I had named them all. Say, nay, boo, boo. I had friends. I had names for my imaginary friends. My brother and sister teased me too. Where your little friends at? I say, yeah, well, laugh all the way to the bank because that imagination then took me far. But I've always talked to myself. So now when I'm driving and I think of something, I will pull over and voice memo it and just talk the whole thing out.
Smart.
I will take notes and put little cliff notes and little side notes and say, okay, I'm gonna come back, bullet points, if you will.
Gotcha.
And then when I get on stage, I work it out. Yeah. And it's nothing like being able to talk about something, especially traumatic type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so when I got into this car accident, I couldn't wait to get back on stage because that would be my therapy.
Yeah.
You know, before the first time I really tried it, I was in the car with a friend. It was actually the same guy that got into the accident. I didn't even tell you about the accident. We might touch on that in a moment.
Yeah.
But this guy was driving the car and we got pulled over, and he is African American.
Okay.
And I am African American. We were pulled over in Stockton, California by two non-African American police officers, if you get my drift.
Man.
And this man is talking like he was not African American, talking about rolling the window halfway down and, oh, your window's tinted and it's illegal. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm like, man, if you don't calm down, you know what I'm saying? And here's my license. And, oh, it's suspended. It's not suspended. Let me tell you, first of all, no, that's wrong. I know the law. I'm like, man, if you don't, I'm about to jump out the car and run. Like, knock it off.
Yeah.
And I went on stage and talked about it and destroyed him on the road. And it was therapy for me because the whole time I was like, what the hell is wrong with this dude?
Yeah.
And everyone's falling over laughing. And I was like, it did make me feel a lot better about the situation. So with this, the first time I actually got on stage after the accident, I did a 15-minute set. But here's the thing. When I first started doing comedy, when I would speak too fast. I'm talking, a lot of emotion. Your adrenaline is just pumping. I haven't been nervous in years. I only started really doing stand-up comedy about 3 years ago. Seriously taking it serious. And it was right when the actor strike happened. So when that writer strike happened, it was nothing. Then when the actor strike happened, I had a job and everything. Like I had just signed to Disney. Now everybody's like, I thought you were always on Disney. No, Smart Guy was a WB TV show. And then after it finished, Disney picked it up.
Got you.
And released it on the Disney Channel. Okay. And we did this whole new release and we started getting more checks for that.
Yeah.
And then recently Disney Plus picked it up again. So, Smart Guy, good looking out. But then I signed on to do this series called Saturdays. It filmed out in Chicago. Okay. And it was about a roller skating crew of young girls, and I was the dad, and then Golden Brooks played the mom, and it only went one season because after the first season, the writer strike hit, and then the actor strike hit. And when the actor strike hit, all the little kids that started the show was out there marching around. I was like, if y'all don't get off that curb, if you don't knock it off, then people gonna see you out there and they gonna cancel out. And sure enough, not to blame them because I'm sure there were other things involved, but a lot of shows weren't getting picked up when everything changed. And even my agent called and was like, yo, it's this strike is bad. Everything has changed. Wow. We thought COVID was bad. COVID changed a lot of things. Like there's not a lot of in-person auditions. Yeah. Most things now are put yourself on tape, which I've just now grown accustomed to doing. Yeah. Like I'm the king of the room. I like to walk in. Hey, how you doing? Boom, boom, boom. Talk to you. Look you in your eyes. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody, now I got to put myself on tape and then just send the tape in and hope it's good. Like, nah. So I had to conquer that. You got to adapt. You got to adapt.
Got you.
So it's kind of like, that's actually how I booked the Disney show, but it was Zoom. It was Zoom. So at least I was able to connect with people. You know what I mean? But anyway, so after that happened, I said, okay, I'm going to go on tour. And I started the We Out Here comedy tour with Charles Allen and Charlie Mack. And we went all over the country. And my goal was just, I had to keep working. So when I approached these comedy clubs, I'm like, yo, I got a tour. I'm going to be the host. I got a lot of energy. And I got a bunch of really good comedians, which I did. I had a strong lineup. Yeah. So this was right after the Montgomery Brawl. Do you remember the Montgomery Brawl?
Yeah.
And they jumped that brother and he threw the hat in the air and all the brothers came swimming over the Aqua Boy and all that.
It was
and the narrator, okay, So I went and I wrote a whole bunch of jokes about that. And that's how I started my routine where I would come out and I'd have the hat on just like him. And I had a white guy go first.
Gotcha.
And the white guy was a monster and he killed. And then after he was finished, he was like, all right, come to the stage next, make some noise for Omar Gooding. And I walk up to him and I'm like, all right, man, exit that way. And he's like, no, I want to go this way.
Yeah.
And I go, no, I want you to leave there. He said, no, I want to go this way. I take my hat and I threw it in the air. So this was just after that joke. So everybody fell over laughing, and then I just, he walks off and I just, so I had all these jokes just to get, that was pretty much getting everything going, right?
Wow, gotcha.
And then I would get off stage. I would put another comic on, and then I would write some more jokes, and I would get up and do those jokes. And then boom. So, but it was easy to go in and out as a host.
Yeah.
Because if you try something and it doesn't work, or if you run out of material, you just be like, all right, you ready for another comic? And then you get your hell off stage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
So my boy Charles said, hey man, after the first day, we had 2 nights. We had 2 shows the first night, two shows, two on Friday, 2 on Saturday.
Okay.
So after the first 2, for Saturday's 2 shows, he said, hey man, how about I host and you do a set? And I said, absolutely not. Wow. I used to use more colorful language at the time, but I don't want to try to keep it PC. But I was like, nah. And then I went to sleep and I slept on it. And I heard his voice. The guy was like, oh man, what you scared of? And I swear I woke up the next day and I said, hey man, guess what? I'm gonna do a set. He's like, you are? I said, yeah. I haven't been that nervous since I was a youngster and just started. I was nervous all day. I was going over that's when I'm nervous about something. I just keep going. Repetition. Going over my jokes. Because I had a lot of material, but I was just like, I do it in my head. So I didn't know how to pace it and how it was going to work out.
But you did like Wild and Crazy Kids. Wild
and Crazy Kids, that was a hosting job. And we would do little scenes. Okay. Hanging with Mr. Cooper was a sitcom. They write the joke. You got a safety net. If you make a mistake, they'll start it over. Smart Guy, same thing. Never stand-up comedy where they call your name and you got to perform. Now, the first time, we'll put a pin in that story. The first time I ever did do stand-up comedy was about 10, 15 years ago. A guy pulled up to a guy said, hey, man, I want to invite you to this club out in the Redlands. It's far. I'm gonna send a limo. Let you know how long ago. They don't do limos no more.
Yeah.
Not a SUV black. No. A limo.
Yeah.
He's I'm gonna send a stretch limo, put some drinks in there, and we can drive out, man. And when you get out there, I just want you to hang out in the crowd and blah blah blah. I'm like, just be a guest. It's like, just be a guest. I was like, sure. Yeah. So we drive out there, and when we on our way, he goes, hey man, what would it take to get you to get up on stage and do some jokes? And I said, a whole lot more liquor than you got up in this limo. We laughing, right? And then we get there and we're watching the show, and halfway through the show, he comes on. I said, hey man, look, why don't you go on stage and just say hi to the people? I'm like, that's weird. At a comedy show? And he's like, yeah, just talk to the people. Just say, hey, what's up, man? It's me. I'm here. Thanks for coming, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can do that. That's nothing. You know what I mean? And he goes, cool. And then he walks off. Next comic goes up, and then gets off, and then the host goes up. The host goes, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special treat for you guys. This next comedian is very, very funny. You've seen him in all your favorite TV sitcoms. He did Smart Guy. He was in Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Oh man, this comedian is gonna blow you away. And I start looking around and I'm like, I wonder who he's talking about. He's been in everything I've been in. I must know him, maybe. We got the same resume. Who was this dude? And he was like, make some noise for Omar Gooding. I was like, what the? So I get up there and adrenaline just takes over, and I'm just like, damn, this light is bright as hell. I feel like a interrogation, and I just start just rambling off stuff, and they're laughing and they're falling over and falling. I got all comfortable up there, and I was just like, man, I'm surprised, because we drove all the way out to the Redlands. I said, I'm surprised y'all are laughing with all these hicks up in here. Dead silence. And I was like, so y'all see Baby Boy? And he said, yeah. I said, yeah, man, I see some unstable creatures. Everybody started laughing. I said, all right, that's my time. Bye. And I jumped on stage. I was like, get one good joke in and then run. And I remember afterwards, people were coming up and saying, man, you were funny. You should have stayed up longer. I was like, no, I shouldn't have. I didn't know what I was doing. So that was the first time, and then that was it. I wasn't like bit after that. I was just like, oh, God, that was terrifying, right? So back to my story with when we started this tour, and he said, okay, let's get up there and then let's do a set. I was so nervous, and I got up there. And we went through the same routine. I threw the hat, and I just, instead of just doing a couple of jokes and then bringing up the next comic, I just did all my material that I had written for the first 2. Okay. And I did it all back to back to back, and it was going great. And I'm getting through it, and I was like, and I got it. I ran out of material, and I said, all right, guys, that's my time. And they went, oh. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's dope. I said, don't worry, I'll be back later. All right, see you later. And I got off the stage, and I was like, oh, because I'm always hard on myself. And I went over to Charles. Charles was like, man, that wasn't your first time. Get the hell out. I said, man. I said, yeah, man. Said it. He goes, I said, dang, I can't believe I was only up for like 5 minutes. He looked at me and said, bruh, you up there for 18 minutes.
Dang.
I said, really? He said, 18. Watch the tape back. And then I watched the tape back, and I was able to obviously evolve and take notes, because you gotta, if any comics, if you're starting out, you gotta film yourself and you gotta watch yourself back.
Yeah.
So I'm watching it back and I'm just rushing. I get to the end of the joke and I just start the next joke. They're still laughing at the first joke. I'm 5 sentences into the next joke.
Yeah.
I'm not stopping. I'm not letting them catch it. Sometimes you got to be comfortable in the silence. Just say the joke.
Yeah.
And look around, and the people get it and they'll laugh, and let them laugh. Take a sip of water. Calm down. Relax. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my nerves were going, and I don't get the nervousness of like, oh, shaking. It's just I can feel I was nervous. Like, damn, why am I still? Tell me worry about that. Let me look at it. Let me look at the note. You know what I mean? and it was great, man. And then I just kind of got fast tracked because people would come out and they would buy tickets just to support me.
Yeah.
And just to say, I loved him in Baby Boy. I loved him in Smart Guy. I want to come see him. And then that was the problem. Even after that first night, when I got off the stage, I'm expecting people to say, oh my God, you were hilarious. They walked up and they said, hey man, I loved you in Baby Boy. Can I get a picture? I was like, okay, you ain't gonna say nothing about that 18-minute set I just did. You know what I mean? And then as I would keep getting that, hey, oh man, I just gotta say, and I'm waiting for it to say it about the comedy, how funny I was. They say, I loved you and blah, 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 and your brother's my favorite. Can I get a picture? I'm just like, okay, they're not saying nothing about this comedy. So I got to step it up. So then, I started writing and developing material. And now I'm at a spot, because, even I got to perform for Mark Curry.
Okay.
Mark Curry is an absolute GOAT. He's not only, that's hanging with Mr. Cooper, but his stand-up is phenomenal.
Yeah. And this is recently, like, he got to see you do stand-up.
Yes. I went to meet him, and he said, hop in the car, and we went to, not Chocolate Sundays, but the Belly Room. Was it Chocolate Sunday? No, not Chocolate Sunday, but up at the Comedy Store. The Belly Room. And he goes, come with me, and we go up in there. And I had performed there before once, and but I was with Mark Curry now, and they were like, "Oh, you getting up tonight too?" I said, "Y'all got a spot for me? I'll get up." And they did, and I got up, and I did my thing, and then he got up and just shut it down. And then when he got off, everybody was just like, "Time to go," you know what I mean? Even though there were a couple more comics still fighting, and he gave me a couple of tips, and he was just like, "You know what? You should talk more about yourself." It's kind of funny. I've been doing music for so long, and my producer was like, you're always trying to be creative when you do your music and rap about different random things and just be abstract and kind of hide behind it. You need to go introspective. Talk about yourself. Rap bars about your life and things. And people say, oh, this is Omar Gooding? Let me hear it. Okay, what is he rapping about? Did he say something about Baby Boy? Okay. So now it was my turn to do that with my comedy, because I would get off and I want to know feedback. What'd you think of the show? Man, I loved it. But people, especially people that go to comedy shows, you ain't got to ask them, what do you think? They'll tell you. They'll tell you, right? Flat out. So the one thing that I've been hearing was, man, you didn't mention this, or we didn't hear anything about that. Worried about the Smart Guy, or, oh man, you didn't say Wild and Crazy Kids. I was waiting for you to say that, So now I got a complete arsenal. I talk about everything. You know what I mean? My father, my mother, my sister, my brother, every show I've been, most of the shows I've been on, just the stuff that people want to hear. And then I got a lot of material about every subject. So it's funny when you said, oh man, I know you were in an accident, but you saw my stand-up. I had just written all of this stuff about my accident. And I just skipped over it at the show that you saw, the first show. So you're like, what accident? No, because when you hear that, and I did try it out at first, and it was kind of funny. I felt like back, because I'd been off stage for like 3 months for the accident. When I got back, I wasn't drinking and everything, because I like to have like a little sip just to calm yourself down. Whatever. And for that show, I was on these pills and whatnot, so I couldn't drink nothing. So I just felt, I felt really weird. For some reason, I was just really, really nervous. When I got on stage, it was like riding a bike. But I did take myself off stage. I was supposed to do 15 minutes, and I was at 12 minutes. I was like, that's my time. And they were like, oh my God, that was great. And then I was like, I listened to it back, and I kind of reverted. I could tell I was just rushing a little bit. I was just a little rusty. But I had worked. That was me working it out. And by the time you came, it was no rust there. It was just, I just did miss that little piece there. But that piece was about, I was up there for what? 45?
You was up there for definitely more than 45 minutes.
So I had another 30 in the tank that I wanted to try out, and I just didn't get to it, which is crazy. Well, at least another 15.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you see there's the trend that they got going on where they said how I would be shooting my Netflix documentary, and then it plays like the documentary music. The latest one I saw was Morris Chestnut saying, if I was to shoot a documentary on why I didn't zigzag when I ran down the alleyway in Boys in the Hood, why Ricky didn't zigzag. Everybody said, why you just run straight and get shot in the back? You should have did like this. You still be alive. That's so funny.
Nah, I didn't even see that.
But I just saw it this morning, so I know it's circulating.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know one thing that I was shocked by, bro, when I was there, I didn't know your sister also did stand up. And she dope.
Let me tell you this. April is awesome. Yeah. My sister is 1 year older than my brother, who is 9 years older than me.
Okay.
So she helped raise me. That is my big sister, like my second mother, right?
Yeah.
But she never was in the entertainment industry. She always had a regular job. She was a pet store, this and that. She worked on an airline for a while. And then one day, out the blue, all right, my brother already won his Oscar. I've already had a couple of TV shows that have ran 4 and 5 years and whatever. She just says, hey, I'm doing stand-up comedy tonight. Y'all want to come out? We were like, excuse me?
What?
Like, I'm sorry? Which was so impressive, and it was scary as hell. Yeah. Now, I talk about not getting nervous. You be nervous for somebody? That's worse than being nervous for yourself.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my God. Me and my brother were there. She said it's at the Improv. I'm like, the Hollywood Improv? She's like, yes. I said, oh, my God. She was just like, what, y'all coming? I was like, yeah. So apparently what she did is she took a class for, I'll say 6 weeks, for sake of argument. Every week, they teach you how to build a comedy set, which I never learned. She just told me about it.
Yeah.
But she was like, yeah, you go and you do like, let's say you write like 5 jokes or 6 jokes. You try all 6 jokes. Whichever one works the best, you keep that one and write 6 more jokes.
Gotcha.
Process of elimination until you have 6 strong jokes. And maybe 10, really, realistically, right?
Yeah.
So, she gets up there on stage, and it went in. Now, out of her whole group, she went last. So I'm like, so for one, that's already a good sign. Because the whole night we nervous as hell. you know, me and my brother standing next to each other, not talk about nothing. Just, what'd you say? I don't know. Yeah, the walls are yellow. That's right. Blue people. Like we're not saying anything that makes sense, and because we're just so nervous and just standing away. They're like, coming to the stage, April Gooding. We're like, oh, and she comes out and crushes it.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, it's hard being a celebrity sibling and having a famous brother. Every time I go somewhere, they ask me, oh, what does it feel like having a famous brother? She's like, oh, it's great. Yeah, we're just at his house counting his money. Can I get $2 on pump number 1? We fell the hell out. Then she put out like a 40-ounce of drink. Like, it was flawless. It was fast. She kind of rushed through everything, but she killed. And the next comic after her, Seinfeld.
Wow.
He opens up for Seinfeld, who was absolutely hysterical as well. I mean, I've watched Seinfeld, the show, a few times, about as much as anybody else that could say they watched the show, but I had never thought he was that funny. Yeah, when I saw him on stage, I just was like, oh my God. And that happened to me a lot. Like Mark Curry, Chris Tucker, a lot of guys, when you see them live, it's like, holy cow, this is something else up here. Yeah. They got to kind of dial it back for TV or maybe even for movies. But when you on that stage, you know, it's unfiltered. So it's really amazing. Yeah. But she went on and she was on her way to having a big career. And it was kind of funny because she would always hint that she works at an airline. Okay. You can imagine how much material you could get from working at an airline.
Oh yeah, just watching everything going on.
Come on, and JetBlue at that.
Yeah,
it might as well have been Spirit. Okay, and sadly, she gets attacked one day leaving the airport by herself by a homeless person that shoved her in the wall, hurt her neck all up. Her neck was about as bad as mine. I told her the other day I can only move here, and she's like, me too. We laughed for 5 minutes, but it messed her up. You know, it's like, how do you get in front of people now and you got PTSD? She saw homeless people, she breaks down. Like it was tough. So she's slowly working her way back on stage. She's been, I think, 2 times since. Once I took her to a show I had in San Diego. Okay. And I said, come on out there with me. You know, you gotta get back after it. Yeah. And I said, how about this? Just go on stage and introduce me. Say whatever you want. That's my little brother used to change his diapers, make some noise. Yeah. Omar Gooding, one of them things. And she got up there and stayed up there for 6 minutes, killing it. I said, look at him. And then she got off, all right, make some noise with my brother. And then when I got up after her, I had to hug her for 2 minutes. I said, y'all need a minute, y'all, because this is deep. I'm so proud of her, the courage. Wow. And then she did the same thing at the show that y'all saw. Yeah, so, you know,
toe it up.
She toe it up. But she was just like, she was like, I said, no pressure. Just go out there and, you know, just introduce me. She said, yeah. Sit down, little brother. I got this. Yeah. Had her Knicks jersey on. Like, yeah, I got this. Watch this. Oh, hello.
Yeah. I mean, literally, like, to me, right behind you, man, she was next, man. When it come down to everybody who did their thing, yeah, I enjoyed it, man. I watched it back because I recorded it. You know, I watched it back a couple of times.
Good,
but yeah, they got a very talented family, bro.
Yeah,
very talented.
You didn't record none of mine, though, did you?
I got some.
Just little snippets. You know, my whole thing. The whole thing about people that record stuff. I know one thing. When I watch online and I see snippets of people's stand-up comedy, you see the beginning of the joke and the end of the joke. When people be posting stuff for me, I think they'd be like, oh, we don't want to leak his material. But I'm like, look, if you're going to, I got plenty of jokes. Yeah. If you're going to put a joke online, do the whole joke. Yeah. Don't pan to the audience while they're listening. Yeah. And while I'm halfway telling the story, and then pan back and then cut it, go to something else. I'm like, nah. Pan when they laughing and pan, you know, from the beginning of the joke to the punchline, and then put it up there. So, So yes, if you post anything, just post all of it, but not the 45 minutes.
I did post the one about Juneteenth.
That okay, good. Good. That was one of my new jokes too. I was like, let me work that out.
I'm a white person. Right.
Good. I'm using that tomorrow too. I want to see. I haven't even had a chance to watch it back yet. I've been so nonstop too. I want to see, but it felt good. That was a good show.
No, it was dope. It was dope. You know, bro, one thing I want to ask, man, because you've been at it for decades, doing your thing for a long time. Now, stand up. Like when it come down to the entertainment business, you have been in it. Most likely more of your life than you have not, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
And as a black man too, would you say have it gotten easier or does it get harder as time goes on?
No, definitely easier. It gets easier because you learn on the job. It gets easier. Like I've impressed myself as of late. Like someone called me and said, "Hey man, need a favor if you can do it. And we're friends, Of course, we'll pay you, take care of you, but it's just, I'm doing a short film and I just need this one scene. And it's a guy who's calling in, talking about his brother had passed and how people aren't caring and he just needs people to listen to him. It's an emotional scene, but we don't need you to cry or anything. But just, if you could just, it would really help me because the show, I was just like, I got you. You know, I'm good. I ain't doing that right now. It's fine. I'm on my way. And got out there, and I took the scene. I read it. And I remember saying a couple of times. I said, hold on, give me a minute. I read it again. All right, boom. And it was amazing. It was crazy because like when they said, and cut, I was just like, I was like, dang, where did that come from? Like, you think I was at something built up? You know what I mean? And they were just like, you sure you just got these signed? Like, how the hell? Damn, we want to pay you more. I was just like, nah, man. It was the love of now, man. I can just tap in. I mean, I had a block for a while with emotion. And it stemmed from when I was younger, when we went through a period where we were homeless and we were living in a hotel. And it was one of them, literally, when it rains, it pours days. Yeah. We got a call that our Great Dane, if you know Great Danes, it's like a Cane Corso mixed with a horse. These are, and I mean, anybody that has animal that's a dog person, it don't matter what size they are, but it's just the magnitude of how big this dog was. And he was our protector. Yeah. So our mama whooped our ass. No. But he not around the dog. She's like, we wait till that dog go to sleep. I'm going to tear your ass. But, but I remember we got the call that he was sick and the vet was like, we need to put him down. And we said, you ain't putting him nowhere. You take him to the hotel and drop him off. We'll tell them to let you in. We're on our way to go get our dog. And we were coming home and we were walking down the hallway and I'm calling him, Bruno, here we come, boy. And I'm not hearing nothing. I'm used to hear, I thought he'd be echoing down the hall. Yeah. And we opened the door and he was already dead and he was laying near our shoes. No. So he went to he wasn't near the bed, near the bathroom. We had some food in it. No, he was laying right near our smell. Oh, it was the saddest thing in the world. So I'm crying, my sister's crying. And my mom and brother were at the payphone because my brother had to carry this big dog and put him in the dumpster. Like, oh my goodness, everything was just the saddest day. And it's raining. Yeah. That's what I said, when it rains, it pours. So it's pouring rain. And I remember I'm sitting in the car with my sister and I'm looking at my mom and I'm crying. And she looks down at me and she says, hey, stop crying. Be strong for mom. And I went, okay. And I stopped crying. Yeah. I stopped crying and I sucked it up. And I swear that that was way before I became an actor. But every time I had a scene to do, I would get right there. I would be emotional and I'd be like this and I would like, and my eyes would gloss up in the water rub. But right when it's like the tears about to drop, it's like a shut off. I just couldn't cry. It was the weirdest thing. And then I remember I booked Touched by an Angel. Remember that show, Touched by an Angel with Della Reese? Yeah. And I remember the audition and it was like, it was real sad, and the boy had to cry, and it was baseball, and he had to something about his dad, and his dad shows up and he cries at the end, and they're crying, blah blah blah. But the scene was a real powerful little piece. And I remember the night before I was practicing it, and I tried. I was looking at it, I was like, da, 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 and I was crying, boom, and a tear came. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna nail this. Let's do it. So I remember getting in the audition room, and I'm sitting there and I'm reading the lines. Blah, blah, blah. I had it memorized, so whatever. So I'm read it. But I'm tuned out. I don't see the casting director.
Gotcha.
I'm just zoned out. So I'm doing the lines and this and that. And I do it like I'm say the line. I'm supposed to be crying.
Yeah.
And it was like, and the scene is over and my face is dry. And I was just thinking to myself, oh, man. And I look over at the casting director and his face is just wet. He was just bald. He was just like, that was awesome, man. Good job. And it was like the emotion was so good that he was crying,
Wow.
but I couldn't cry. And I remember when we had to actually film this, I booked it obviously. And then when I had to film the scene, I got bailed out because it was one of those things where when you film a scene, they have the cameras positioned in one for a certain part of the cast, and then they'll flip it on for the other cast. And there was a bunch of us in there, and all of us were supposed to be crying at the end. And they filmed the other guys first. And right before they started the first scene, the guy said, "Give it to me." And somebody walked over with a little bottle-like thing and blew menthol into his eye. And said, "Action." And he was like, "Ah," and started crying. I was just like, "Wait, you can do that?" So I didn't know they could do that. I said, "Give me some of that menthol then. Give me some of that menthol." I'll take the menthol. We was all in there crying. I didn't know there was that thing like that. I was like, what? Yeah. But that was the only time I ever did it. But it wasn't until, sadly, the saddest year in human history, in my opinion, was 2020. It was scary. I'm a Laker fan. We start with, I'm not just a Laker. I'm a Kobe. Kobe's just my favorite player, period.
Yeah.
Period. And to lose him in January, right? COVID hits in February. Then I went to film a movie called AM Radio after we quarantined for 2 months. Yeah. Right before we went into quarantine, I negotiated this film. Shout out to Ricky Brichelle. He said, "Yo, I just did this movie and I got this script. And I was going to do it with the actor that was in this movie that I just finished. I won't name his name because they fell out or whatever case was. He said, we're not on good terms, but I would love for you to be in this movie." Yeah. And then we negotiated the price and the agents got involved, blah, blah, blah. And then COVID hits. Boom. Wow. Everything shuts down. Investors go away. Wow. After 2 months of quarantine, he calls me directly and he's like, "Yo, man, I really want to do this movie." Yeah. He's like, "And I bet you really want to get out the house." I was like, "Yeah, I love my kids, but I wouldn't mind." And he was like, "Just tell me a number that you can do it for, and I'll get the money." And I told him a number. Called me back 2 days later, said, "I got the money. Let's do it. Let's make a film, brother." Wow. And we went out there and we had a very COVID safe. Everybody was quarantined. And the movie is called AM Radio. It didn't get much pub because it was confusing, the title, I believe. Every time I said I did a movie called AM Radio, they were like, "Oh, he's on AM Radio now, huh?" Yeah. We'll see if we can find that on the AM Radio. I said, "No, it's a movie." It's a movie. And it's about a guy that suffers from alcoholism, mental health, and it has a love story wrapped all in it. He had a meltdown on air, and he was working for FM. Got a new job for AM radio, but it was like a talk show. So it was me. I'm just like monologuing through most of the movie, and fake callers that I'm just talking to online. And then it gets emotional, and then there's gunplay involved and alcohol. And then there's a girl that comes in. There's a love story. Beautiful script. You ever get anybody watching it? AM radio is on all streaming platforms. Definitely. Now, there were a lot of emotional scenes in this movie. Okay. Right. This is now, I think it was March of 2020. And if you remember, why was that the worst year in the world? You got Kobe Bryant. That's enough. Then you got COVID. Oh my goodness. Talk about uncertainty of life. We didn't know where the whole world shut down. We didn't know what was going on. Yeah. And if that wasn't enough to get you emotional before you have to shoot a scene, right as I'm studying because I'm out there by myself. I didn't bring the whole family. It's quarantine. So I got a nice apartment out there and I'm going. I got all my lines spread out. And for some reason, CNN was just on. I don't even watch CNN like that, but it was on. I didn't know where the remote was. And I say that to say that was when George Floyd was murdered. Remember, that was all in 2020.
Right there in that pocket.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
And I was locked into this movie role and all this. It was a lot of lines. And I finished doing Family Time, and after Family Time, my memory is insane. Like, you give me the phone book, and I'll be like, "Give me a minute, got it." Like, it's crazy how fast. And shout out to Bentley Kyle Evans because we would do like 40 pages a day. Yeah. Guest cast would come in and look at us like we're aliens. Like, y'all got this memorized? We don't even have our lines here. Like, how y'all remember? Just like, well, change it. We're doing a new scene. Here, load it. Learn this one. All right, let's go. And I'm just like, so anyway, so I'm learning all these lines, and CNN comes on, and I'm watching this brother call for his mother, and this monster with his knee on his neck. I was so, I don't get shaken. Like, you already done lost Kobe. You already COVID. I'm the man that I got the that shit me up. Yeah. And I called my mother, and I remember talking to her like, what? And just the humanity. You know what I mean? And then I called my brother, and they both of the conversations were borderline arguments. It was just like, I'm just like, what? Like, am I tripping? Like, why are we all angrier about this? You know? Yeah. And they were just like, yeah, man, but you know, you guys, like, you black. Because even when it happened, it sucks, but we're so desensitized to it because these things happen a lot. Yeah. But now the world has seen it. Now everybody was like, Black Lives Matter. We get it now. Oh my God. And we're all kind of looking like, yeah, Black Lives been mattered. Like, you know what I'm saying? But just to see that was boom. So we get on set. We get on set. We have to film. And I remember going, okay, before we do this scene, make sure everything is right. Now, what I mean by that is you could do a scene and it could be perfect. And then all of a sudden, cut. And you're like, what's wrong? They're like, oh, your mic went out. Or cut. We were out of focus. Or cut one of the lights powered down. There's so many things that can go wrong when you're filming a scene. And I'm like, look, if I get to going and I'm working up some real emotion and tears come falling out of my face and y'all say cut because something messed up, I'm gonna choke somebody. So make sure everything is locked in, bro. And it was so impressive. It was one of those things that I don't, give myself a lot of, I'm usually hard on myself because, trying to make yourself as good, the best version of yourself you can be at all times. I watch stuff back. There's a few things I've watched and I've been like, yeah. Like all of Smart Guy, I was like, yeah. Baby Boy, I was like, yeah. But there's other stuff I've done, I'm just like, man, what the heck was I thinking? Boy, I need to watch this back before I. But anyway, so with this one, they said action, bro. It was therapy. Wow. It was therapeutic. There are some people who, when they act, like these method actors, God, they'll be depressed all day. I've seen girls put on headphones and listen to like sounds of people dying, like just really putting that in their spirit. And that's the problem with some actors. You get it in your spirit, and then you see these actors losing their minds or getting too involved in the role, and then they take themselves out, or they overdose, or they start doing heavy drugs, or when they get into romantic relationships because you've connected with the person across from you. This all happens. So, but for me, it was therapy. It was crazy because we did the scene, and it's a long scene, big, I want to give away the movie, but it was a climactic, real boom, boom, boom. And right when it was over, it was like, and scene, and I was just like, woo! Like I felt good. They're clapping and people wiping tears, and they're like, oh my God, that was great. And I was just like, wow. I was like, we got it, right? They're like, we got it. I was like, okay. No, you got another take? I'm like, sure, let's try it. I remember feeling so good. Wow. And it was like, all right, let's try another take. I was like, I ain't gonna be no tears, please. We did like 4 or 5 takes, every single one. Pow.
Wow.
Emotion. Pow. It was just flowing out of me, bro. And it was like years of having like that switch that I had. There was no switch. What do you think was going on inside of you? Like to go to that place that way. Kobe Bryant, COVID.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah.
George Floyd.
Yeah.
And then I talked to my mother and my father. I had emotion welled up in me so tough. I was just, but I didn't know it. I didn't know that it was boiling like that until I focused it all into this role. And it's amazing. It's like, if you're just like, okay, think of the saddest thing you could think of. Now you're really sad. Now just cry. Okay, fine. Now be in a character and say the lines of the character on cue. Hold yourself where you need to be for the camera. Make sure you do the call signs and the buttons is pushed, and you got blocking you have to memorize, and you have to be like it's deep. Yeah. And cry. But every time I finished, I wasn't like, I need a moment. And I've seen that. Girls, they get a moment and cut. Like, I remember I did a scene with this actress. She's a wonderful actress. And because it's a mixed story, I don't want to say her name, but she was a wonderful actress. And she finished and she was crying. She's, I'm sorry, I can't stop crying because this really touches home to me. And I remember going, damn, that sucks. Damn. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas when I finished, I was just like, it was like I went to the bathroom. You know what I'm talking about? I was like, woo, I feel great now. Yeah. And it really helped. But it's not like I got it all out now. I got this block still. No, please. We get to going right now. I'll be you know what I'm saying? And I've had some heavy moments. I mean, in the hardest year of my life, even though that was 2020, 2017 was the toughest one of the toughest years. We just had so many heavy things happen to us that it's like in 2017, in January 27th, I became a father. Mm-hmm. And then April 20th, 4/20th, I lost mine. Oh, man. You know what I mean? And then the way I lost them was so heavy. I had took my mom. I went to go visit my mom, and she needed help taking our dog to the vet. Her dog to the vet. Great Dane, of course. So all we've had is Great Dane.
Yeah.
And this dog was the most aggressive Great Dane ever. Like, she needed my help getting him in the car, and this is her dog. Yeah. And then we get to the vet, 2 people had to come muzzle him up and drag him in. Like, this dog is a monster. Wow. And we took this dog to the vet, and my sister showed up just randomly on some, hey, I was going to go over some stuff. Mom's going to help me out with it, but I'll follow you guys to the vet. So she follows us to the vet. We drive. It's like 35 minutes away. It's not even around the corner. It's a far drive because she used to live in one city, and we moved her out because the air quality and all that. Sold the house, bought a new one, whatever. Yeah. So we're going back to the old house, and it's 35 minutes away. We get there. We get the dog inside. Me and my mom are laughing and whatnot and talking, and my sister opens the door and goes, hey, here, talk to Cuba. He's scaring me. Here. And I walk outside. What's up, man? He's like, yeah, man, you by yourself? So I can't be. He's like, yeah, go somewhere quiet. It's like, yeah, man. So, you know, sometimes things happen in life, and, you gotta roll with the punches because we're men, and God works in, mysterious ways. And I'm just kind of rolling my eyes like, bro, get to the point. What's the problem? And he's like, yeah, Dad's dead. And I took a moment, got emotional. All right. Oh, shoot. And he's like, all right, so where are you guys? I said, we're at the vet. And he says, this is what I think you should do. Leave the dog, take Mom home, and then tell her. And I said, yeah, all right, click. How the heck am I supposed to lead this monster? What am I going to say to her to get this monster? Hey, by the way, let's leave him because let's go talk at the house. Like, that's not going to happen. Yeah. So what do I have to do? I have to turn on actor. And I have to act like my father didn't just die suddenly on the side of the road, discovered by someone who called TMZ, who called my brother, who was in Germany, who then gets a hold of me and then tells me, sorry, I'm not there. Good luck. Leave the dog. Brother, thanks. So I had to wait. I handed this, my one mistake I handed the phone back to my sister. She's like, what's happening? I was like, he's fine. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Then I sit there with my mom, and, I can't rush it. I got to just, shoot the, and da-da-da. And hey, and the dog, wow, get the dog in the car, boom. And I'm just, boom, driving 35 minutes. I'm telling you, we're 5 minutes away from the house. And she gradually says, have you heard from your father today? I'm like, what? Nope. Right? Wow. And we get in the house, and it was like 3, 2, 1. Like, we had to get through the garage, up the stairs to where, because I'm telling you, this dog is such a beast that she has to open the slide door with the leash, let him go, and then closes it like, oh, we got him outside. And as soon as she closed the door, it was like, and scene for me. So she turns around, and I'm just wet. And she's like, and she's so strong, bro. She just looked at me, and she says, what? What's wrong, baby? It's your father, isn't it? And I'm like, she said, he's gone, isn't he? And I said, and I'm crying. And she didn't shed a tear. She just came over and hugged me. It's all right. I saw a rainbow this morning, and the reflection hit the flowers, and I saw it, and I knew then. And I hadn't heard it from him all day, and I knew then. And he has my car too. So, and I was just like, and then I felt like stupid because I was like, damn it, I'm getting ready to catch her, and she holding me up, and she's 5 foot nothing. You know what I mean? 100 pounds soaking wet. I'm like, man, let me get my sister. Oh, snap. So I run outside, and I get outside, and she's in the driveway, and she's lost it. Of course, because she's driving home, and all of a sudden she's getting text messages, condolences about your dad. What? So that was tough, man. That was tough. And what saved me from like grief was I had just become a father. Man. And I felt him literally like, okay, well, you the man now. You got to be, I got a son now too. I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, if it was a daughter, it'd be different. No. But I'm a father now. Yeah. I have responsibilities to my kid. I can't fall apart. Yeah. I didn't tell, he had his funeral at the Apollo Theater, a few blocks from where he was born, because he's from Harlem. My mother's from Harlem. And that was deep. That was tough. But everybody came out, and the people that spoke for him, but we moved fast. My mom was like, get it done. So we didn't make a huge deal. So people were like, we were at a function with Snoop Dogg about a year after the fact, and this woman walked over. She's like, "I love your father so much. Where is he?" And I was standing next to my mom, and I was like, "Oh, he passed." She was like, "What?" She's crying, and we're both holding her like, "Sorry." Because we didn't do like a press release.
Yeah.
We told the family, we rented out the Apollo, and then we put him in a mausoleum up in Harlem. Man. And I had a show in Harlem. And then so I get into this big beef with Cameron and this back and forth with all the rapping and this and that and the third. Yeah. And everybody's like, "Oh, you don't like Harlem." I'm like, "Watch it. Don't say that." So I actually performed a comedy show in Harlem. And that was deep too. Because I went for the first time and visited Pops at the mausoleum. I got there and it was closed. How you gonna close a mausoleum? There's black people in here. It's like 4 p.m. Yeah. Y'all didn't tell me what time it closed. And I took all of that and brought it to the stage. And that was something special. And Harlem is tough, man. They got just a lot of talent. That's my roots, man. That's what's so crazy about it. I'm so West Coast. I'm such a West Coast kid. I was born out here. My friends is, a couple cats from Compton, another one from Watts, affiliation, all that, what I'm saying? And these are dudes that I grew up with. I'm so West Coast, it hurts. And my blood, though, is East Coast. Yeah. My mother and father born in Harlem, raised in the Bronx. They have my brother and sister. They're New Yorkers. Yeah. My sister's going nuts. The Knicks. I'm like, "You don't even live there no more. Damn Knicks. You ain't been in New York in years." Yeah. But and I'm so West Coast, but it's in the blood. You know what I mean? So when I go to New York, it's not really my thing. Yeah. I like, back up. I don't like all this crowd stuff. They're like, "Get on the subway." I'm like, "No, I'm trapped in a tube. No, I'm from LA. What do you think? Earthquakes?" Like, no. Right, but I love it. I love it's fam. I got a lot of family out there. My oldest brother, Tommy, lives out there. Okay. Because my father had a kid when he was 16, but didn't have any connection with him. They didn't want nothing to do with him. He got the girl pregnant, and the parents, took her away, and that's it. He never even met his son until he was grown. He was at a show. The brother walks up to him, "You're my father." "Excuse me?" We find out, we like, "Yeah, right." As soon as we saw a picture of him, we like, "Damn it." My daddy's jeans. Oh, my daddy's jeans is so strong. And the four of us took the picture. We look like quadruplets. His jeans was too strong. So we looked at him and like, "Oh yeah, that's his boy." Yeah, that's our brother. Yeah. Shout out to Tommy.
That's what's up, man. Something that you mentioned too, I didn't know this, and I never knew that you went through that, but you mentioned that at one point in time you were homeless.
Yeah, we were homeless for a couple of reasons. So I just keep it just as honest as I can. My father was a singer and my mother was a singer. They were both recording artists. My mother had a deal with Brunswick, and she was part of a group with her and her sister and their dear friend, and they were called the Lovables. And they changed the name to the Sweethearts. But she had a full career. He had a career. They met doing music together, right? And then once they got together, my mom said, "I'll raise the babies, you get the money," right? And culminated in this highest moment was when he did Everybody Plays the Fool, and it was #1 on the charts and gold records, plenty of money, blah blah blah. But it's tough because I don't want to make excuses for people that don't handle money right, but it's kind of, if you're not taught what to do, and then the way they talk to you, they'll make you believe that you're just gonna make money forever. So you don't save it. You lease everything. "Oh, don't lease. Don't buy nothing. Lease it." So you got all these cards. You got stuff you got to pay for forever. So if something goes wrong, you in trouble. Yeah. And something went wrong. He went when I was conceived. He was at home enough time to conceive me, and then went to Africa. Okay. And he was out in Africa when he got the news. "Hey, I'm pregnant. You got to get some more money." Yeah. But he shouldn't have been out there because it was during apartheid. And back then, U.S. artists weren't supposed to go out there. Okay. So he said, "Damn, now I'm going to go out there. They paying. But I hope they're paying enough," because when he got back, he was blacklisted. They pulled all the main ingredient songs off the radio, and he had to start from scratch. We lost houses. We lost cars. We lost the money. We moved in with our grandma, my grandma and grandpa. And my grandpa tolerated it for as long as he could. It was like, "All right, Shirley, you got to go. Take the kids and go do something. That boy Mark wants to do something. He'll be an actor or whatever it is, but y'all got to go." And we were in the high desert. So we jumped in the car, and she took a checkbook, and we went down the hill. She wrote checks, and we went from hotel to hotel to hotel, praying, stayed in a couple shelters. We were in homeless shelter. We lived in a car some nights. And then finally, she's a prayer warrior, my brother. She would pray and sing every day. Now, for me, it was the time of my life. I had so many toys and stuff, but we would leave them in the hotel and be like, oh, we gotta go. Then we would have to leave stuff, and get up and then go to the next city or the next hotel and just, keep just bouncing around. It was crazy. Wow. But to me, it was fun. I was like, it's an adventure. Swimming in these different hotels. And then, during our adventure, my sister went to camp. She talks about it. She was traumatized because we dropped her off at camp and then left her there and picked her up when it was over. And they were like, she said, I was there. Like, where's your family? She's like, I don't know. I hope they come for me. And then we picked her up. She was crying. She was so happy. Yeah. But yeah, my mother prayed. She would always pray. One day we're going to get an apartment. We're going to be not living in these hotels. And one day it finally happened. I was in the 4th grade. And we got an apartment, Riverside Drive in Toluca Lake. And then I went to Toluca Lake Elementary. And then she would pray. Now, when I say pray, you don't pray one time.
Yeah.
You got to pray every day.
Yes.
You got to pray. You got to keep, it's called prayers are answered, not prayer.
Yes.
So she would pray, and we would sing. And she was, as she's praying and singing and saying, goodbye, hotel, hello, apartment, hello, goodbye, hotel, hello, apartment. So finally, got an apartment. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. You know what? I'm going to get out of this job at Broadway and I'm going to work at a more higher paying, more prestigious job at Nordstrom's. Yeah. Every day from home from work, goodbye, Broadway. Hello, Nordstrom's. Hello. Until got that job at Nordstrom's. Now she's working at Nordstrom's and she's like, and you know what's next, son? You going to get a series. And I'm going to say goodbye to Nordstrom's and quit and be your full-time manager. Goodbye, Nordstrom's. Hello, series. Hello. One day I got a call to audition for a show called Wild and Crazy Kids, and the rest, my brother, was history.
Wow. Amazing, brother. Yes, amazing. Sir. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Bro, something I like to ask, a lot of men who were in the entertainment industry or is currently in the entertainment industry, when it come down to especially acting, was there ever anything that you had to turn down because it didn't align with your values? Because, we've seen a lot of men, a lot of black men, take roles where they were in dresses, makeup, things like that. I had my guy DeAndre Bonds on here at one point in time, and he talked about how he wasn't happy about what he had to do when he had to play a role when he was locked up, where he had to, basically call it graped on YouTube.
Copy that.
Get graped by another man. He wasn't happy about it, but he did it because he was put on the spot. So he just went through with it, but he was not happy because of it. So have you ever been put in a position where you had to turn it down, or you did something you did not want to do when it came down to acting?
Yes, in the sense of did I have to turn it down? Yes. And then no, because that is a common misconception. And I'm sorry that he had to go through that. But here's the thing. A lot of people feel like their life is that Eminem song, you only get one shot, don't miss your chance to blow. And it's just not the case, bro. When it's your time, it's your time. God has something for you. You just have to be patient. You have to have faith, right? Yeah. Now, it's easier for me to say because I found success fairly easy. When I first started, I went out on, I got 2 auditions in one day. One day I had 2 auditions and I booked one of them. It was the second one. Wow. But I booked it. And to me, I was just like, oh man, it's easy. I remember even, it was 9 years old, but I remember still thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna be super rich. This is crazy. It got harder, but it never felt like, okay, this is the role. I got to get this role. I got to do this role. Yeah. Or I'll never get another shot. That is a common misconception. I've heard of it. I've never experienced it where, it's like, I always thought about, damn, that would suck if I was part of a show and then they sprung something on me and I was like, what? No, I'm not doing that. Well, you're fired. Well, fire me because I'm not doing it, Yeah. But, like DeAndre, if that's true, I'm sure it is, but you always have a choice. You just do, bro. Now, the things that I've turned down were in the breakdown. I've never been, I was offered something recently and I just laughed. I said, come on, man, you better check my pedigree. You better go look at the resume, brother. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? It's like, not a chance. But
check my resume.
But, yeah, you better, not a chance. But what I'll get is we get breakdowns. We'll say an audition came in. Here's the role. You read the role. You read the sides. But it says in there, nudity, this and that. Are you comfortable with this? Are you comfortable with that? And then you make your decision accordingly. Most of the people, in my opinion, that do the dress or this and that are comfortable with it. It's just that simple. I would be comfortable wearing a dress or lipstick or any stuff, so I'm not going to do it. It's just that simple. It's weird. They say, oh, every guy, they put a black man, eventually you always wear a dress. No. Yeah. If you're fine with it, then yeah. I know 2 actors that I mentioned a lot recently because I have the utmost respect to them. I've never thought differently of them. And they're 2 iconic, one of the most famous comics, not just black of all time, Martin and Jamie Foxx. Yeah. You got Wanda and you got Shanae. I never looked at that like, oh my God, he put on a dress. Oh, I can't believe that. Nah, it was funny. Like, it is what it is. Not for me. It's just not my comedy. I've always felt if they say, why don't we need you to come in and then bam, you hit your head on the floor and then you're rolling on the ground and I'm like, no. But I bet I can say something to make it real funny. Like I can make things funny that don't you normally like. They've written lines that are supposed to be just setups. Yeah. Here, you say, hello, how you doing? And they say, I'm doing great, fool. And the great fool is the laugh, but I turn my hello, how you doing? Hello, how you doing? Or something. And then they go, oh, wow, that's funny too. Yeah. So I've always found my way to stand out or, be it from auditions to here's the line and so forth and so on. So I always know there's plenty of, you got to be creative. You got to be creative. There's plenty of roles. If that role doesn't fit, just move on to the next. And I would turn stuff down left and right and piss my agents off. So I've been through quite a few of them. Yeah. I've had agents call me. They want you for this. You got to come in and read. But they want it for me and offer it. No, you got to audition for it. Not audition for that. Not for this. First of all, I'm not right for the part. I'm like, how do you know? I said, I looked at the breakdown. The breakdown will tell you this is what we're looking for. Now you want to take it, and it's real tricky. So I'm trying to explain like this. You want to look at the breakdown. It's a guide. They want this, but they don't really know what they want. So if you look at it and say they want this, then you want to make sure you're not giving them exactly what everyone else is. Yeah. You walk into an audition room, and you're supposed to be a lawyer. Everybody's got on a tie, including you. Take the tie off, put it in your car. Now you're standing out. If everyone has their hair a certain way, got glasses on, take the glasses off. You got to be different. You got to stand out and be like, yeah, that guy with the one without the tie on. Yeah, that guy, that's the one. Whatever it is, you have to make sure that they remember you. The first role that I booked was for Webster. That was my first speaking role. And everybody was in there going, and now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sammy Club. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sammy Club. I walked in there and had a microphone tucked in my jacket with the cord. And I pulled the cord out before I started. The cord hit the floor. And I said, and now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sammy. And they laughed and fell over. And then I booked it, And I was just like, gotcha. Yeah. So, in more currently, that's funny. That's when I say misconception. People think if you book a guy and you pay him for something, here, whatever I write, he has to do it. So when I got into that thing with Cameron and he came up with his idea, like, I can't out-rap this guy, but I bet I can do something that'll be just humiliating. And he's like, so he real sneakily found a guy that I used to work with that I did favors for. Like, hey, man, I just need you for one scene, one day, real quick, fly to Miami, first class. Here's $3,000. Whoa, blah, real quick. Come on, man. I'm like, yeah, it's nothing. And then he goes, now, I said, send me the script. And he kept saying, yeah, it's coming. I was like, okay. So the script finally comes and they're like, my character has to lick the bottom of a shoe. And I called him immediately. I said, what's this lick shoe stuff? And he goes, yeah, man, it'll be hilarious. I said, man, you can do it. I ain't licking no shoe. And he go, okay, I'll have him do something else. Then it said the character has to take his shirt off and do jumping jacks and push-ups. I said, I'll see y'all on set. And when I got on set, I bought a shirt that buttons up and I had a tank top. Yeah. So when it came time to do it, they were like, yeah, man, I do jumping jacks and push-ups and take your shirt off. I took the shirt off. Yep. But I had a tank top on. So bloop. Now what? Jumping jacks and push-ups. I said, I ain't doing no jumping jacks, but you get the push-ups. And I did the push-ups. And that was it. Yeah. And then they was like, damn, we didn't get him to do nothing embarrassing. So then he put a camera in the dressing room and all that pervert stuff. And then, that was his demise. But anyway, but he thought that just because you wrote it down on the script, I have to do it. They're paying me. No, idiot. That is not how it works. You can refuse anything. What are they going to do? Oh, well, you're fired. All right. Bye. Yeah. But you still got paid though, no matter what though, right? You got paid with the camera thing?
Money. Yeah,
of course. Okay. I got paid a deposit, and then when I got there, they gave me the rest.
Got you.
And then I go to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to mention first class this and food and everything paid for and all that and chauffeur. And it was one, the guy that set up was like, I didn't know what was going on, but he wouldn't leave my site either. He's like, you good? You all right? You all right? There was a lot of security and people there, and I was just like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I took my shirt off, did the push-ups. Everybody checked. It was like, yeah, try something. I was gonna say, you should have tried to whoop some feet. But anyway, but that's what's so funny. People are like, oh, you got to do it if it's written. It's like, no, you don't, bro. Just, you could say no. You can pass on it. It's coming. And people get caught up in the, casting couches and Diddy parties and da-da-da-da-da. You go to the Diddy party, just leave when everybody starts getting naked. Like, when to get out of there. Yeah. When it's time to go. You can socialize and be cordial and then be like, all right, yeah, you going out? Yeah, sure, I'll meet you for a couple of drinks. Oh, woof, it's time to go. Oh, we staying and we doing this and that and this drug, blah, blah. Nah, that's when it's time to leave. They won't even miss you. Don't worry about it. Yeah. It's crazy.
Man, when it comes down to relationships, that's one thing that everybody always hear when it comes down to entertainment, music, whatever it is, relationships are important. Yeah. And there's, whether that's friendships, whether that's building relationships to, get roles and things like that.
Absolutely.
One person who I hear you talk about a lot, someone who was a good friend at one point in time, right? We even touched on him a little bit. And it's Merlin Santana. Yeah. And one thing that I want to just touch on with him is, I want to know, for you personally, how much, for the ones who don't know, Merlin Santana lost his life a long time ago. And I want to know personally for you, how much is he missed? And not just for you as well. Yeah. How much does the industry and the audience miss a Merlin Santana? Because he was dope. And you could tell us even more about him.
Merlin Santana was one of the purest actors. He was a real person. Right? Yeah. Wore his heart on his sleeve. If something upset him, he didn't hold it back. He didn't hold a grudge. He told you immediately. That ultimately led to his demise because of just how he was. It was a little too much. He needed a little bit of restraint. At first, when he came out, he listened. He's like, I'm from New York, son. How's it out here, B? And it's like, yeah, calm down. That's how it is. Knock it off. And he's like, they don't want. We got into real fights. He left the club one time and somebody said something and we was brawling in a parking lot. I looked up and he was running with a flashlight that he took from the security. I'm like, wow, this dude was wild. And then, later in life, we just kind of drifted because he just kept going. And it was like, at first he was kind of humble, and then when after Steve Harvey hit and it blew and he was doing his thing, he just kind of got just a little extra and he just kept going and going and going. It was just like, come on, bro. Now I was like, I don't do the lecturing and, hey man, you can't do that. If you ask me, I'll give you my opinion and then I lead by example. But if you're going down a dark path, I got to go the other way. So we just split. And then even when we heard what happened, I was like, oh man, Merlin was in a shootout at Fatburger. I was like, what? Wow. Yeah, it was Desert Eagle. Bah, bah, bah. And it was a shame because on screen, it was effortless. Yeah. I even admit, me and Jason, we would talk about it too. We would like, okay, let's get these lines. Okay. All right, let's go. And you would say, oh man, I messed up. Let me do it again. Blah, blah, blah. He never skipped a beat. Never missed a line. He was just flawless, bro. Wow. He's missed, and that talent is missed because it would have transcended. It would have went beyond sitcoms. He would be in movies and more. Definitely headed to be an A-lister. Good looking guy, you know what I mean? He checked off all the boxes, except up here he couldn't check himself, and we were all younger, so we fed into it a lot. It was funny. Everything was funny. The little pranks he did, little stuff he did, but then that would kind of snowball, and now we're all carrying guns, and it was like we weren't getting into. I had a lot of guns. I don't think I shot one of them. Yeah. At the shooting range, plenty of guys. I still got guns. We go to the shooting range. This dude was having shootouts. Yeah. Like I'm like, bruh. And then the way he passed it, just it's sad. The saddest part was that every single person went, yeah. No one went, what? No way. Let's go find out what happened. No, we went, oh yeah. Wow. Yeah. And as terrible as the story was, he got shot multiple times. A girl claimed that she did it and had to back that. We knew it had something to do with a female, and we knew that it was he was in the wrong place. He sure was at the wrong place. Yeah. If you just happened out in New York somewhere, that'd be one thing. But he was out here in LA, man, and you are not from here. What are you doing? Yeah. what are you doing? So it was tough. It was tough. But it has to be talked about so that it's a cautionary tale. Yes. So people understand when you go, it ain't just LA's a crazy place to be. It's just, every place has a hood and there's a place. Go when you're invited. I've been to plenty of hoods with reputables and with OGs from their hood. I don't just go, oh, this is Watts. Hey, let me bring some people. Hey, Watts, I'm Omar. I go with my partner that's born out there. And then they go, dang, what's he doing here? Like, I'm with him. That's what I'm doing here.
Yeah,
man.
Wow. That's why I always ask, about certain things like that. Like last time I brought up Merlin, and I brought him up this time because I think when it come down to situations that has occurred that were tragedies, people need to know that there's two sides to this. Like you have the side with Omar Gooding, who, joking, laughing, family man, happy guy, and then you got the Merlin Santana, very, very talented, but, things didn't go right. He had
a lot of issues, I won't get into his personal stuff, but he had relationship issues for sure.
Yeah.
And, I think it's just push it too many times,
Yeah.
When people do crazy stuff, sometimes it's because you got away with it a few times.
Yeah.
Then you did it to the wrong person, and that's that.
Yeah.
So, and he didn't have the people around him that he needed. He was part of the people that I had around me that protected Jason Weaver. Like, boom, boom, boom. We had a crew around us, but like I said, when I separated, they came with me.
Got you.
And then he was just out there with one other cat, really, one or two other guys. And they're, I talked to one of them recently too, and they were just like, yeah. I was like, I didn't know you. He said, man. I said, damn, it was a shame about Merlin. He was like, yeah, man. I said, he had a shootout. He's like, I was there. I almost looked at him like, oh. What to say? Oh, really? But he just meant like I saw it or whatever the case was. Because Merlin, again, at first he was asking, yo, you think this is cool? Should I do this? What you think about that? And we would tell him, no, don't do that. And that's cool, but don't do that. And then he just stopped asking and was just like, I got this. Let me just get some guns and just go out in the streets. And it was like, bro, we got attacked because he got into it. I wish he was here to tell this story right, man. But he got into it with, I don't feel right talking about it, but he got into it with somebody who was an actor. That actor and him, he got physical with one of their associates. Then I was out with him and a buddy of mine, and the associate counterattacked and hit him. He falls into my friend. They're rolling around on the ground. I'm standing there looking at these two like, why are y'all fighting? I didn't even know he got hit. I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? And I'm trying to break them up. By the time I break them up, like, calm down. Why are y'all fighting? And he's like, because he got hit and he falls into my buddy. So the buddy's just like, what are you trying to fight me for? What's wrong with you? Wow. But the other guy sucker punched him. So then once they pulled him apart, I pulled them apart. We're standing and we look over, and I'm telling you, it's like a movie, bro. Yeah. The club is now lined up with like 6-7 guys standing there like, yeah, what's up? And we're like, 3 of us, about 7-8 of them. The club is now cleared the heck out.
Yeah.
So it felt like just such a setup. It was weird because the person that invited us went MIA, and then the next time I ran into him, now he's looking all nervous and just like, it was so crazy, bro. And that shit just spiral. And that didn't lead. That was like a year or two before because I was still hanging with him at the time.
Yeah.
These are altercations that I got in with him. And luckily, this was before social media was so crazy or it'd be all over the place. Yeah. But these are events that happen in the streets at a time when people weren't just pulling out their cell phones because they can sell it to TMZ for some money. These are incidents that occurred that we know about. Yeah. And, sometimes I talk about during podcasts.
Yeah. Definitely. But, you give just enough. You don't go too deep in it, but you give enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's tough. It was some wild times, man. And God is good. God is good. I mean, like this car accident, I was laughing the other day about this car. I got to add this to my material. I sadly have had alcohol and driven home and said, oh my God, how did I get here? And said, okay, I got kids now. So I stopped doing that. I take Ubers as much as possible. And
smart.
When I had the accident, I hired a driver.
Yeah.
I said, you're driving me.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in the back seat.
Yeah.
And it was a friend of mine. Like I could sat next to him. No, I'm in the back. I'm chilling. You got a nice car, reclining seats, automated door. I'm in the back. You drive, and here's some money. I'm paying this dude. Now you're hired. And we go to a party, and I was paid to go to this event, and it was at a house stuff. So it was a guy's birthday, and it was like, hey, I'm gonna pay you to come out. I just be in the building, whatever. And it just took so long, like 12 o'clock, and I knew that I had a flight leaving at 8. That's another reason why I didn't want to drive too, other than obviously being intoxicated. So when you know you have a driver, you drink even more. So I was just like, we having a good time. So 4 o'clock in the morning comes now. I was like, look, bro, just drive straight to the airport. I got my bags. We ready to go. And we didn't make it to the airport. I took a nap. I was in the back seat like, I'm going to just go ahead and take a nap. And then he decided he needed a nap too.
Yeah.
This fool falls asleep, hits the center divider, car flips over, and that was another movie scene. I was like, ain't this me? All the times I done drove and probably shouldn't have drove. The one time I probably should have damn drove.
Yeah.
But it was it was funny. I was talking to Apostle Martius Scott from His Love is Amazing movement. He called just to check on me, like, how you doing, brother? And I said, I'm doing. And I said, the devil be at work. And he says, I said, that ain't the devil. It was God that allowed that to happen. See what happens. See what comes of this. And he was right, man. Yes. I've been writing more. I've finished projects that I've been kind of procrastinating and sitting on, completed. I got the shows being developed. I've been a part, like so many things that are happening for the better that I'm like, thank God. I lost weight. I stopped drinking. I just did all of this stuff now that I wouldn't have done. God was just like, sit down. And I was like, God, I did ask for a sign, but a stop sign would have been fine, not a billboard. I didn't need you to throw an entire house at me, like flip this car around. I'm telling you, when the car came to a stop, I pushed the button, the door stopped, opened. I had to yank the door off. I took 3 steps and my whole right side went dead, fell into the bushes, boom, and we're on the side of the freeway. So I used my left side to push myself into the bushes so I didn't get hit by the car, and now I can't move at all. Now I'm just staring at the night sky, and I'm waiting for my friend who's the driver to just come over top of me. You all right? Yeah. Do I look all right? I can't move. Come here close. I'll bite you if you get. Son of a bitch. Like, oh, say it again. And of course, ain't nothing happened to him. He's fine. I should have started whispering, come here, let me tell you. Bastard. But that's how it goes. They always say the driver's fine. I'm sitting down there like, I can't move, I can't wiggle with that foot. But it was painful. It's painful. I still can't turn all the way and all. I still got to do physical therapy. But
yeah, I
wouldn't change it. Just it's definitely eye-opening. Just don't drink and then drive yourself.
You good. You know, one thing I want to ask, because I hear it a lot more now, and I think it's important to ask people who actually have been in the industry. Do you think social media and, let's say like the Netflixes, the Amazons, the Hulus, do you think that's hurting the industry when it comes down to where the industry is at nowadays?
Well, it just depends on what part of the industry. I mean, for one, I love Tubi. I've got so many jokes about them, and I laugh and giggle about, the quality of their content. But at the end of the day, they're paying us. Yeah. And the us is not just, it's a quick job for actors who don't mind getting that quick little paper bag money. You know what I mean? If you know, you know. Yeah. And then for filmmakers that, maybe just be somebody with some money that wanted to make a movie. They're now monetizing like crazy because they're like, okay, pay an actor a certain amount of money, blah, 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 blah. Come get this real one day, real quick, just to say he's in it. Now I can put it on Tubi. People are tuning in because he's in it, and they're getting that ad revenue money, and it's nice. Yeah. So it's really cool that people can make money if you want to be a filmmaker. But that's what it is. It's like, that's why some of the movies are good, and most of them are just like, good Lord. Yeah. But I remember BET back in the day. It was just like Tubi. You'd be like, what is it, BET? We can see the camera through the. Is that the reflection in the mirror? Like, come on, man. I can see the light hanging and the guy with the boom in the background. Like, knock it off, BET. Yeah. But they got better. I think Tubi will get there. But there's a lot more opportunities now. I mean, there's a lot of this streaming stuff is interesting. They just need to fix the acting. The entertainment side is fine. It's the music. Because I've been dibbling and dabbling in there and putting stuff out and so forth and so on, and be waiting for that check. Them checks be 17 cents. You'd be like, wait a minute, what is this? They got to fix the streaming money, man. That is gross. It was like, how many streams and how much did it cost more to record this thing, man? Never mind. The music, you got to do it for the love. You got to do it for the love because there's a lot of gatekeepers. There's a lot of people you got to get around. And it's funny too, I know tons of DJs and they like, give me your music, I'll spin it. And they do, but they spin it, during their time. And it's like, you ain't gonna get on the radio unless you got 250,000. Like 250,000, might as well start my own label.
Yeah, right. That's kind
per record, 250,000. Nah, I give you that for a song.
How many kids you got now? You got what?
I got two.
You got two?
Two boys.
Two boys, man. Wow, you have two boys.
Yeah. Their baby mama head didn't spin around. We would have tried for a girl, but that's it. That second time, second pregnancy was tough. Pregnancy was tough. It was they both the love of my life. But yeah, that's it. We still cool. Me and the mama's cool. We're raising them and we're doing our thing. But everyone's like, you need to go for a girl. What who?
One thing I wanna ask, because right now we're in a different time, in a different place.
Yeah.
And you raising two boys.
Yeah.
And in today's society, man, you have to be close to them boys, because in the world that we living in today, you see a lot of men taking on boys, and men taking on feminine traits. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In our back in the, I'm gonna say from my time on up, we were taught to be strong, tough. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Very strong, masculine men, right? And now it's looked at as like almost like it's wrong.
Right.
When you see, these boys, it's almost like they're being taught to be more soft, and things like that.
To be soft,
exactly. What
okay
are your thoughts on that, raising two boys?
Yeah, it's okay to be a kid. My movement, it's a tricky movement, but the movement that I'm quietly starting, just got to get louder, is it should be okay for me to be a man. It should be all right for me to raise boys to become men.
Yeah.
Without it being offensive to anyone else. You shouldn't take offense. I say, man up. What you mean, man up? Why you can't man up? What? No, what's wrong with being a man? What's wrong with, toughen up? You know what I mean? You need that. When I broke my freaking neck, bro, I'm a baby too. Don't get me pissed off if you baby boy comes out. That's just another part of my personality type of dude.
Yeah.
But I don't like having a cold. I don't like being sick. You know what I mean? It's the end of the world. Oh, damn it. Because if I'm sick, I want to get over it fast.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't want to just lay up. Oh, no. But I want to get over it. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, when I was younger, and I remember my dad told my baby mom, he was like, y'all are doing it the right way. You're doing it out of love. You ain't worried about marriage and all that. Like, we just got married, blah, blah. But he's like, well, Omar, when he was young too, I was worried about him. I'm like, where you going with this? Where are you going with this? And he's like, but now he's all man. And I could just see the man just in him. And I was like, okay. Nice save. Yeah. So raising sons, you go, okay, let him be a kid. It's okay to be sensitive. I get it. I'm sensitive to things. And sensitive doesn't mean feminine. It just means that your senses are heightened to things. Somebody say something and you just get pissed off. That's sensitive. Why are you so sensitive? Yeah. Damn, calm down. I didn't mean like that,
Mm-hmm.
And I can see the personalities in my boys. And you got to be careful with that type of thing. But it's okay to, like if you want to cry, cry. You want to be upset, you want to be angry, okay, fine. Yeah. But I don't think you should make choices, because there are some things are choices and some things are just in you and some things are just people. I think some men are more manly than others.
Yeah.
Women, same thing. And I think that's where the lines get blurred. You know, some people are okay, like some men, careful Omar, are okay as actors doing certain feminine things and they're fine with it. They're okay with it. Me, I'm not. Because I don't think I would do it justice and it would look like I'm mocking them. Right? Physically, there's certain things I can't watch. If I'm by myself, I've never seen some woman was laughing at me. She said, you've never watched? Oh, Brokeback Mountain. She's like, you're an actor. It was a masterpiece. You never watched it? I'm like, I can't. I said, are they kissing in it? And she's like, yeah, but it's not about that. I'm like, well, I'd probably, if I'm by myself watching something and two guys start kissing, I go, eesh.
Yeah.
Like I look down. It's just me.
Facts,
but it's not It's not like I go, oh, these people, or I can't, we're going to hell. No, I just literally, my stomach starts turning. I'm like, And I fast forward it because I get a physical. So to me, it boggles the mind how a man can kiss another man because I just don't get it. I'm attracted to women. I like soft. I like good smell. That's a woman. Now I'm aroused.
Yeah.
Anything manly doesn't arouse me. So I don't get that. But there are some people that can do it. The people that can do it, do it. More power to you.
Facts.
That's fine. If you can muscle through it, I have the same fascination with doctors. What a wild statement this is. Doctors, policemen, people that risk their lives for others. I'll risk my life for mine, but I'm not going to jump out there to protect these strangers unless it's something that, makes sense. But even doctors cutting people open, oh my God, you got that life in your hand with her, but there's a different part of the brain that's working in there for these people to be able to, and thank God these are heroes amongst us.
Yeah.
Firemen that rush into buildings to save people, strangers, these are people that are set up, and I think it's like that with sexuality and stuff. Like you just got to be able to do that. If you can, more power to you. Me, I just can't, so I won't. Now, when it comes to raising children, you got to let them make their decisions, but like, you know what I mean? I don't think.
Yeah.
I think you can push it if they have a little more of this in them than they have that, and then you just put them in dresses because you think it's cute, and then all of a sudden that's just how they like to dress. Then, I guess you kind of you did that. But me, I'm always been a lead by example type of guy.
Yeah.
My kids know what type of man I am.
Yeah.
They think I'm the strongest person on earth. When I broke my neck, they told me I had a hangman's fracture. It was a C2 injury, the same one that took out Christopher Reeves. I said, do you know who Christopher Reeve was, kids? They're like, So he was the first Superman. Yeah. He passed away from the same injury, but I survived. So you know what that means? What? That means I'm stronger than Superman.
That's right.
I went to that school to pick him up. I had the neck brace on, and the kid was like, what happened to your neck? I was like, I broke it. My youngest said, yeah, he's stronger than Superman. I was like, yeah, it's true. But it turned into a learning moment. We do push-ups every day. We get our 100 push-ups in, and we try.
Yeah.
So I always said before I go, how much you owe me? Did you get your 100 in? That type of thing. So I told him, I said, I got injured. And they said it was lucky because I was strong up here. Yeah. And I asked him, I said, what makes you strong up here? And then my youngest was like, push-ups. And I was like, see, get them push-ups in because that saved daddy. And So anyway, it's definitely tricky, and especially in this day where you got like one of my son's friends has he's a boy, and then he has a sister who's going through a phase to where now she's wearing man's clothes, and they say, oh, her name is now such and such. She goes by Tommy now instead of Tina or whatever, and it was just like, but it's normal to them.
Yeah.
Back our day, they'd be like, oh, well, they're going to hell. You stay away from them and da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. But then I just kind of got to go, okay. But communication is key. Back when we grew up, when you raised kids, it was do as I say, not as I do. Spare the rod, whoop your, just listen and da-da-da. And I didn't respect that. Yeah. Growing up, I was just like, you can beat my ass, but you better know what you're doing. If I ask a question, you just have an answer. If you don't have an answer, then you don't know what you're talking about. So I talk to my kids, and they're very smart. They're pretty. My oldest is very book smart. My youngest is just wild. Yeah. And he's getting there. He really was. He's a typical second child. So he's the one that needs extra attention. And, but they're smart when you talk, when I listen, especially when I got their attention. You put your daddy like, hey, listen to me. And their eyes is wide, and they're paying attention. I can ask them questions and they answer. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, all right. And even when I have to discipline them, and I have to discipline them, I don't want them learning from someone else that what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
I talk to them about being black, and we talk about that. Like, you can't do what these kids do. That's just how it is. We got to the point someone said, one kid called me the N-word. And I was like, who was this? And he said, yep, he called me N-word, and he called the other guy the B-word. And then I said, and what did you do? And he said, well, I told the teacher. And the teacher took him and they called his parents. I was like, you're 9, so that's acceptable. 9, it's
It'll
fine.
Work today.
It's fine today. We'll see this in high school, how it goes back around. I'm like, damn, what happened?
Yeah, right.
But I started getting dressed. They did, huh? Where's his daddy at? But it's a slippery slope, because I remember watching ESPN, and I watched a brother I think it was Ryan Clark, and he was in tears talking about how he didn't prepare his son to be black because he's privileged and he's around these white kids and so forth and so on. And they all were talking crazy to somebody and they pulled the guns out. And he was like, I could have lost my son because I didn't explain to him, brother, you can't do what these other guys do. Yeah. That's not fair. You're right. And that's also something else. And then you tell them the good things about being, but you know, and you strengthen, they get happy and they say, well, look at this. Why do people know you? And wow, is it fun being this? Or like, yeah. I want to do it. Not yet. Take your time. Once you start, this is a forever job.
Facts.
This thing we don't retire. We expire. That's just it. So, you know, it's a lot of that. I couldn't wait to be a father. And I also couldn't wait to pass down so many things that I want to tell him that my father told me. You know, when I started, in my opinion, my rap career, I thought to myself, dang, I never put out an album, a solo album, and I'm about to have a boy. What if he says, Dad, what do you mean you can rap? I never heard your album. So I put out an album called The Excuse, produced by Focus from Aftermath.
Okay.
And it was Beast. And I put it out, and one of the songs was called A Better Me. And A Better Me was dedicated to my son, but I also had just lost my father. And I realized when I wrote the song, it was half the things that my father told me that I'm now telling him. So it was like a double dedicated song. It was deep. Yeah. And they've never heard it. You know, well, me's heard it, but they don't, you know, later on, these will be good little things to just listen to. Like, okay. And it's just me giving game, you know, about friendships and life. Like I learned a lot from my mom who has supreme discernment. She's always telling me, oh, that person there, oh, that's your friend. That friend ain't nothing. Trust me, you'll learn. I'm like, won't tell me nothing. Sure enough, that friend is get out of here. And I come home and be like, you was right about that dude. I don't know how. I couldn't wait to introduce her to girls. How about this one? Do you like this one? She cool? No.
Yeah.
She knows. And, you know, I want to, you know, like there's a certain friend that one of my kids hangs around and says, such and such says, and such and such says. And I'm like, who's such and such? That's the one that we wearing. Yeah, no. Yeah. Let me explain something to you. And we go we've been on vacations with other families, and it's like, I got to instill it to you. You are not them. They are not your parents. I am. Yeah. And we'll see what happens to these kids. And little things happen. God, you don't waste time.
No.
We went and there was a river, and one of the kids got whisked away up the river. And the other dad that took him there, along with our kid, had to dive in after him, blah, blah, blah. And I was standing there and like, you want to jump in too? I said, no, I got my kids I got to look after. I'm not going to risk my life for them because he let him go down this river. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
And where were my kids? On the riverbank looking like, I'm waiting for dad. Dad said wait for him. Yeah. I was like, yeah, you won't mind me. And it's going to save your life. It's going to prevent an injury. Like, you think we're telling you not to do something just because we want to be mean?
Yeah.
That kids were quick. I mean, don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to fall. Boom, 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 boom. See?
Yeah.
It's hot. Don't touch it. It's hot. Okay. See? You know what I mean? So it just got to communicate and be there. And with the father that we have, you know, the thing too is it either affects you one or two ways. Either you're just like him or you're the opposite. And I try to be a combination of the two.
Facts.
Where I'm like him in the ways that mattered to me. My father was very stubborn, and he was an orator. And when he passed, I became that. I wouldn't even do stand-up comedy until he passed. Like a lot of things, like my singing acumen, everything changed when he passed. And I felt like that's what happens. It's deep, but I feel like that's what I feel like you pass on. You live on through your seats, and that's just a personal thing with me. And it's I can feel it.
Yeah. And
I try to pass it on to them, but I just go, okay, you know, little by little, they'll get it. And then listen, I wonder how much of me they have in them. It's like, I didn't like ass whoopings. I took one or two and then I learned how to fight. I took one or two spankings and I learned how to run and block. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need, you know, one of my kids, you got to tell more than once.
Yeah.
And the other one, I've been saying, boy, no, yes, yeah, I got it. Just raise your voice, Dad, and I get it. You know what I mean? So, and we were abused because they were abused. And then we're descendants of slaves who were absolutely tortured and abused. So it's hard to just shake. It's hard to just, you know, I definitely don't want to make no excuses for those people that, you know, the races, but it's bred, it's in them. Like it sucks. But you know, you got to be a human at some point. And common sense. I was blessed with common sense, man. And it's like, if you just take a moment, okay, I know what it is. It's funny too, because you always know the right thing to do. And the reason why I say you always know, because every time you do the wrong thing, you immediately knew, God dang it, I knew I should have did that.
Yeah.
Every time, or right or left. I should make this right. Nah, let's make the left. God dang it.
Yeah.
I knew I was supposed to go right. Well, then take one more minute and do what you knew you were supposed to do, man.
Facts.
You live longer.
Facts. Yeah, man, I think these are really important topics to touch on, man, that we don't touch on enough in our community. You know, one thing that I want to bring up too as well, we're in a place in the time now where, you know, a lot of these young boys and even young men don't know how to handle rejection, you know, struggle. They don't know how to deal with real life, right? You know, like you see a lot of them commit suicide, you know, taking out people who they love because they can't handle the pain of losing them when it come down to relationships and things like that. What do you say to the time that we are in when we see that at a high level? See, we knew how to deal with things and move on, you know, bounce back, right? These young men do not mentally know how to handle these things. What do you got to say to that?
Yeah, I hope that they're tuning in right now and tuning in to discussions like this. This is the thing. And, you know, I give my oldest some credit, man, because if I tell him something and it makes sense, he'll absorb it. And hopefully that lasts forever. I used to have nightmares when I was young. I believe it's because I'm an overthinker. I just analyze, especially when I was younger. I was just like, what happens then? And what happens to that? What'll lead to this? What'll lead to that? And my mom got saved right after I was born. Before I was born, she was something else. So my brother and sister know her different.
Okay.
They know a whole other side of the woman that was born in Harlem and raised in the Bronx. You understand me?
Yeah.
And now they see her saying, Jesus this and Jesus that. And they kind of like, okay, mom, okay. You know, but all I know is that. And the thing about faith, well, there's a lot I could say here. Okay, let me start staying on track. When I used to have nightmares, it was because my mother had just got saved and she said, let's read the Bible. So I read the whole thing as much as I could. I didn't really understand it, but I just kept reading. You know what's real clear? Revelations. Revelation and eternity and forever is easy to understand. And boy, my mind would go. And then all of a sudden I crying and can't stop. And I'm in my mom's room and she's like, man, just go to sleep, you know? And she couldn't explain it to make me feel better. I just felt safer around her and then I would fall asleep. But even into early, not adulthood, but close, I'd still have to like, stop thinking, but don't think about it. I'd have to like shut it off in my brain. So my son started having nightmares. And I asked him what happened or what's in the mind. I don't want to talk about it. Well, what is it, man? I don't It's like, dude, you got to know you can talk to me. It's not like I'm abusive. Like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to make you feel. If we talk it out, I bet I can make you feel better about it.
Yeah.
And it took him a while to really open up. He told his mom. And then we finally found out what it was. We'll put a pin in that. But what I said was, if you're having nightmares, it's probably because you're thinking about something that's adult, that's advanced, that's something you shouldn't be thinking about because you're a kid. And it's hard to tell a kid what you're a kid means. Because if you're a kid, that's it. That's all you know. Like, what do you mean I'm a kid?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a person. I'm growing up. I'm learning. You're grown. Why can't I do what you do? Why do you get to have that and I don't? Why don't da-da-da-da? Because you're just a kid. What does that mean? Shut up. That's how we were raised. Well, I'm like this. No, not shut up. I'll tell you why. Because you can't handle it. If your brain isn't fully developed, it's not mature enough to understand these things. They'll be scary to you and they will keep you up at night. That's why when we say you can use your iPad, but make sure you watch kids stuff. Don't watch grown-up stuff. Grown-up stuff will scare you and it could get in you. And he went, yeah, I think that's what happened to me. I saw that. I was like, go ahead now. And I said, well, watch what you watch. And every time they're on the internet and we hear some little, commercial come on. What's that? What y'all watching? And he's like, oh, it's just an ad for something. It's like, yeah, all right. Skip that and skip the ad. Don't watch the ads. But then he finally opened up and he told his mom and she was like, yeah, he says he has nightmares about eternity. And I said, that's the same nightmares I used to have. So then I was able to talk to him again and I was like, yeah, man, and I couldn't explain it, but it was more so that's why you have to, for me, I'm a Libra, and what I believe about that, the part that I believe in is that I feel is the scales balance. Like if I'm upset, I got to go the other way. I don't dwell on anything. I would say if I'm too happy, I got to get sad, but but it's more so it's just got to stay balanced. You got to balance things out. You know what I mean? So, my problem I have with certain people, they just like they get upset and they just want to dwell on upset. They just want to, this is sad. They just want to keep going. I just be like, dude, I need you to get over it. Yeah. Let's find an answer here. Yeah. I don't want to answer. I just want to cry about it. All right, well, cry about it. Don't tell me then, because I'm a problem solver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with kids, you go, okay, I see. They just want to cry. Or why is this kid so cry? Why are you crying and getting weird and not being irrational? They're tired. They need to sleep. Don't beat them.
Yeah.
Send them to bed.
Yeah.
And they'll go to sleep, and the next morning, they'll be fine.
They'll be good.
You'll whoop their butts before they. I told you not to. You ain't listening. No, you're done. You're done. Go to bed. They're asleep. They're tired. You understand? Their little brains. And this world we live in now, it's an information age. It's too much. We didn't have to worry about nothing. When I was 9, I worried about the Flintstones, the Cosby Show, Little Rascals, and how violent Looney Tunes was. Like, that's it. I wasn't looking on the internet knowing how clouds were made and all this. Like, this kid is telling me things. I'm like, where you learn that from? Your little friend taught you that? He's like, no, I saw it on a commercial, and I clicked the link, and it told me. I did like, no, man. I was reading the Bible, and it said this and that, and heaven and earth and God, and who created God? How does God? I said, oh, man, listen. It's too much for you to be worried about right now. Go watch Bluey or go watch, Puppy Dog Pals or something, and then go to sleep. Don't go to sleep looking at, that's what they tell us. Don't go to, you're not supposed to have screen time 60 minutes before bed and you'll sleep better. Yeah, because you get caught. And you'd be like, wait a minute. Now your mind's going all over the place. Yeah. But these kids they're having these issues. They don't know how to deal and blah, blah, blah. Well, how were they parented? Their parents didn't know how to help them get through these emotions. They just beat them or punished them or told them they're stupid or said something emotional because they're stressed out and they're working and they don't know how to handle it. That's why I didn't have kids till I was 40. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I knew before 40 that I wasn't emotional enough, mostly mature enough to handle raising a child. I didn't have the patience. I didn't what?
So you were 40 on the dot?
I was 38 when we started trying. Okay. I just turned 40 when I had my first child.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I was 40 and I knew then.
Don't make me feel far off. Okay.
Yeah. I'm young. I feel young. My niece is mad at me, but I'm fine. Yeah. But I have the patience to go, it's all right. Let them finish crying. You be good. You good now? All right. Get it out. Now, let me tell you something now that you've gotten it all out of your system. And kids will listen. They want to learn. They want to learn. Yeah. You tell them, they explain it, tell a story, and they're like, and then and then, and you're just like, go on, get it all out. They're like, are you done? And they'll laugh. And you're like, all right, now let me tell you what you were trying to say. And then this is the way,
Yeah.
And they're good. It's a good sponge air, but it's like you can't turn them loose on the internet, and you can't leave them around these kids that are being parented by parents that let the internet raise them. Yeah. And then you have confusion. Well, they said this. Well, everyone else is doing it, and And I was fortunate with a lot of things like drugs, marijuana, sure, yep, but not addicted. Liquor, just some drinks. Alcoholism, that's tough, but it's like there's that. Okay, now we're doing this. Why?
Yeah.
All right, now we're trying that. Why? Like, I'm good with these two.
Yep.
If I want to get more, I'll just have more. I'm not going to go to something and they're like, oh, it's a gateway and it'll lead to this. Won't lead me to nothing.
Yeah.
Because I've seen too many horror stories and it's like, no, thank you. What? I can imagine someone saying, let's try crack. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's not how it goes. It's one thing leads to this and that's having that or maybe a tragedy or something and you have to numb it. My mom always say, feel your pain. I'd be like, yeah, that's cool, but I need a drink.
Yeah.
But I don't. I'll feel it in the morning. I feel the pain. My head hurts.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're right. This is important. It's important to talk about it. Who knows what kid is listening or what parent is listening, and it'll click and they'll go, maybe I need. And there is a lot of good stuff on the internet. I've read some articles lately that really went, wait a minute. Why is your kid doing this? Probably he's not acting out. He really just wants to be with you. Like, why is he nagging? He's not nagging you. It's like, my dad. Oh my God. You see, I'm doing something. Yes, he wants your attention. Relish that. Listen to him for a second. Answer the question, or just boom, or know what time it is. Maybe he's tired. Maybe he's overstimulated. Maybe he's this. Maybe he's that. It don't mean you should let him go crazy in the middle of a grocery store. and curse you out and shut up, mom, and all that shit. That's when it's time for the ass whooping. But you know, for the most part, common sense rules everything. You know, but you gotta get in house with them before you turn them out. You know what I mean? You can't just cut these kids loose. I feel bad sometimes. I travel so much. We put our kids in a program where we drop them off at 8 o'clock, pick them up at 6. Like, dang, 2 hours later, it's bedtime. We see our kids 2 hours. I'm like, so I'm at home. I'm like, nah, I'm going to pick them up now. That's ridiculous. They're getting raised by teachers and peers. No, you can't be raised by them.
Facts. You know, being in a position where you had to earn a job or, you know, earn a spot or a position, you know, and if you don't get the job. You know, this isn't like you go apply and have a lot of positions for a lot of people. No, you know, when it come down to acting or even musicians, it's the best of the best, right? Yeah. So dealing with that, did you ever deal with like anxiety, depression, things like that? You know, when it come down to like the struggle of might get it or might not get it?
No. I was just raised different, man. I mean, thank God my mother was saved and she, you know, prayer helps. And the thing about prayer too, it just calms you. As they say, something stressful, give it to God. Like, what does that mean? Just give it to praise. Say, Lord, just here, you take it. I'm gonna go do something else because I can't sit there worried about it. Worrying about it ain't gonna help it. Yeah. People say, you be stressed out. I'm like, stress? What's stressing gonna do? It ain't gonna make the bill paid or the price go down. If I say, oh, it's stressed hard enough. Oh, it's free now. No, so I don't get it. Things are frustrating, when you're just like, oh man, you know, and it's kind of funny too because it's a double-edged sword because especially us black, I tease Taraji when I get on stage because she was crying and I shouldn't, but she was crying and she had her interview and she said, they're underpaying me, they're not paying me what they're paying the white girl, and I was just like, oh my God, $10 million, turn the TV off. What the heck did you say 10 million? I would have snatched it. But I get it. She's frustrated because it's not fair. She's not getting what they're getting. And she's got bills too and different houses. And it's like, man, if you don't knock it off, you got to remember how far we come and so forth and so on. You know, and one time she said, she doesn't have a franchise movie. Like, she's got an Oscar. Why does she have a franchise? Like, not everyone has a franchise movie, man. Like, knock it off. It's you know. But and it's like, remember, you're black, and it's like, yeah, well, we've come so far. It shouldn't be that, but it's like, but it is. Yeah. It is. So, you know, I like that we have to fight for it. Honestly, if you just handed it to us, what good would that be? You know, like, why can't we all just everybody be rich and nobody works? Because then we wouldn't have nice things. Because who's gonna cook it? Who's gonna make it? We're all rich. I'm not even going to the kitchen. Who's gonna go out there and drive the car and pump the gas, do all that stuff that you need? Somebody's got to be. It's got to be a pecking order here. But you know, it makes it feel that much better when you succeed. And it's, you know, sometimes you get it right away. Sometimes it takes a while. I could have had kids early and then I don't know where they'd be. And then I'd be single and happy without kids. And and like, no. I need these kids to keep me on this earth because I can calm down. That's one thing about having kids. One thing that changed about me is like, you're not somebody's dad, which means you have to make it home. And that's tough. That's not tough to do, but it's a serious statement to be like, I'm gonna let that slide. What did they say? You know what? It's time for me to go because I got to make it home. I'm not, because if I'd have nothing waiting for me at home, what you say, say it again, homie. Like, you know what I'm saying? That part is dead. You can't do that. You can't do that. And it's, especially, you know, whether you think you have something to lose or you feel like you've done enough, I always feel like I have purpose. There's always more to do. And then when you have kids, you're like, okay, now I got to make them something. That is your point now. You got to make them something. They got to be, maybe your purpose is to be their dad. You know what I mean? Who knows? Like, I got stuff. Yeah, that's cool. But it's about these kids now.
Facts.
And what's the best way is to make sure you're there for them, man. And even, you know, and I thought being there meant being on the couch at home. And I was like, that's not really being there. I got to be the best I can be too. Yeah. I got to be the best. So if I got to go on the road for a couple months or a couple weeks, you know, and it's cool now. Again, that's the other thing. I can make my own decisions and my own schedule. You know what I mean? So like me being a stand-up comedian is different than if I started at 20 without a name trying to do comedy and I had to go every night out. I don't have to do every night. I don't have to do it every night. My guy got signed to a tour guide and he was like, how many times you want to go out? And I was like, shit, once a month would be great. Yeah. One good big show a month. You know what I mean? I could be home for the rest of the month. That'd be great. And he's like, done, you know, but we'll see how that goes. But right now it's kind of the last few years it's kind of been doing. It's like, one good show a month is good, you know. And I tried like a weekly thing in LA, and I was just like, too much work. Yeah. It's just too. It was too much. It wasn't paying off really. You know, the money was fine, but it was just too much. Like you had to, you know, because I'm a boss, I got to run everything. I can't just put, all right, you're in charge of this, you in charge of this, you in charge of this. We'll meet at the end of the night. How'd everybody do? No, that's not how it goes. It's you're in charge of this, and I got to check on it. How's that going? Well, why? Well, okay, how you doing? Didn't I tell you got to watch it? Well, you come over here, and that's all night long. And then you pay everybody for doing their job for them. So it's a lot. It's a lot. But I love it. I wouldn't have it no other way. You know, God is good. And it's to answer your question now that you had earlier, it's definitely easier. It's easier to see things that I know I'm supposed to do and I'm getting them done the right way that I couldn't have done in my 20s. Funny. Once I'll give you this one. When I was doing Family Time, my brother came on set, and we never really worked together. Okay. But you know, I was like, "Oh, is he gonna be on the show? Is he gonna be on the show?" I said, "I don't know. You want to get in the scene or something?" He says, "I will be on your show if they let you direct the episode." I was like, "Okay," but it terrified me. I wasn't ready. I was like, "I don't know how to direct." Stupid. Boy, give me a time machine. He'd have been in 5 episodes and I'd be directing Sinners. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I wasn't ready. My mind wasn't ready. I had enough with worrying about all the lines and stuff. And I was like, nah, I got to worry about this and da-da-da. Please, not directing my ass off now. I'm just, all you do is shadow, see what they're doing. Okay, cool. I got to go to film school? No, you don't. You in film school. I didn't go to acting school. I didn't go to acting class. I took drama in high school and play production in junior high. That's it. You know what I mean? So I didn't learn techniques and how to do this and da-da-da. Shit. COVID. Now I know how to cry. You know what I mean? On cue. You know what I mean? No, but some people are like that. I'm what they, you know, I'm a natural actor. But I think that also puts me in a box that I'm okay with because I know what I can do and I can do it well. As opposed to, let me try radio. I tried, failed. That's for Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba can do anything. That's why he's a phenomenal actor. That's why he has an Oscar. That's why he's continuing to do great things because he's a trained thespian. This man can do anything. He can put on the dress if he wants because he can pull it off and he knows how to get into it and all that. And I don't get too deep about that. But you know, me, I just know what I can do. So
I mean, he played radio, man. Come
on.
Oh
my God.
And anybody who could do that,
try it. If you think it's easy
one of
to
the
do,
most incredible human beings on this earth. I'm sorry. Like by far. That is not an easy. When I just watched radio a month ago when I was in Kansas visiting for my nephew's graduation. No.
Oh, okay, but you watched it again.
I was like, I want to watch radio, right? It was just, you was turning through, you know, and then the radio popped up. I said, I want to watch. I just wanted to see a great performance. And I was like, dang, that's better than what my mind was even saying.
Because like you watch it and you forget you're watching a movie. And you're like, you're feeling for the guy. And you're like, damn, man, that's messed up. You know, he's crying and you getting choked up. Like, that's an actor. That's acting. You know? And I'm telling these filmmakers too, don't cast small parts with just your friend or somebody because they're going to ruin the whole movie. When you watch a good movie, the extras are phenomenal. Everybody, the background, everybody, somebody come in one line and walk out. You don't think you're watching a movie. And that's the thing that you have to hone in on. And these, you know, actors, I'm just happy that we're over the phase where all the rappers were taking all our jobs. You know what I mean? I was like, Ja Rule? Why? Really? No. Ja Rule? And Stevenson? Come on, man. I'm just glad we got through that. But I think we're taking a turn for the better, man. You know, the cream is rising to the top, as we used to say. I love the state of hip hop right now. Shout out to Drake and Kendrick. Drake, I just need him to pull up. I need him to get back to just, you know, clear your mind and come out and hit everybody in the head with some, because he's talented. That's the best way I can put it. He's talented. Whatever you think about him personally, he's talented. Kendrick, talented. And that battle they had was epic. People forget about it. They just think about the last song and be like, yeah, he got him with they not that. But if you listen to all of them back to back, you'd be like, dang. It was impressive what Drake did. It was very impressive because he wasn't even supposed to be hanging with Drake with Kendrick. He wasn't even supposed to be. He wasn't supposed to beat Meek Mill's a battle rapper. Destroyed him. And they said back to back. I said, dang, how the heck is this dude pulling it off? And they were like, he's got a ghostwriter. And then you were like, oh, it's over. Then you heard the first song he did, and the original song, and he was like, that song sounds terrible. When Drake redid it sounded great.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But and now people are listening again. I remember that's what I fell in love with hip hop, listening and hearing the metaphors and the double entendres and all that. And you'd be like, wait, what did he say? Rewind it. Oh, that's crazy. Put some thought into it and make it rhyme and make it sound good and let the beat be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Hip hop's the best. And it's, hip hop, with acting, you can either, now that I'm writing, you can create a role, or you got to wait for that perfect role, and you never know what hits, and maybe it's happened already, or maybe it's coming, and maybe you're Morgan Freeman. You start when you're 49 and then start being the old guy. Or whatever.
Man,
but
get every role too.
You know what I'm saying? But with music, it's completely freeing, man. You can just write it and get it off, and it's like, yeah, man. And then with stand up too, it's fun. Stand up is just crazy because you just never know what might happen. You have a plan in your head, and then you have live people in front of you.
Yeah.
Even in the show you came to, that one girl, she was getting a little bit too much. I almost said, shut up.
She was in it.
But she was enjoying it. I saw her after, she was like, I wasn't that great. I was engaging. I was like, yeah, you made me forget some stuff. Is what you did. You was doing too much, but I'm happy you had some fun. I skipped over a whole paragraph, a whole segment I was going to do. Because I had to say, you know what, shut up. But then I found stuff. Ain't nothing like finding things. That's the best part of stand-up.
Yeah.
I was on stage one time, and it was for my sister. It was, we got down 3 times. It was for her birthday, beginning of the year. Her and my brother shared the same birthday, January 2nd to the day. Is that crazy?
Yeah, wow.
She was born, and exactly 1 year later, you babysitting. Okay. Wow. So she got up and she performed, and she said, make some noise with my brother. And I got up and I did a set, and I'm getting towards the middle of it. And I just happened to kind of, because I do crowd work when it makes sense. If somebody says something that some of my best shows have been because there's crowd work, but it's not forced crowd work. Not, hey, what's going on? Where you from? And all this type of stuff. I don't really do that. I do it a little bit now, and I just kind of let it happen. But I was just kind of glancing. I looked at this guy, and I swear he was mean mugging so hard. And the way he was staring at me, I just, damn, what is wrong with you? You all right? And then he started smiling. I said, I don't know, was that resting nigga face? Like, why would you looking like that? And then everybody fell out. I didn't think of that but 2 seconds before I said it. And it was so funny because now he's laughing, and now everybody's going like, whoa, okay, anyway, where was I? Keep an eye on him. Make sure you don't start frowning again. And that's the fun stuff. I've written stuff where I said, okay, here's a joke, and then here's the boom, boom, boom. Then I get off, and the comics, the comedy world is so embracing. One comic came up and he said, hey, man, you had that joke where you said it was this? You could also have said this, 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 and this. And I was like, damn, I didn't even think about it. Like, good looking. And now I've expanded that joke. Dope, now I've taken, I learned that from Mark. He's like, bro, you can take one topic and talk for 30 minutes if you want. Just think about it longer. And I'm like, And it's sky's the limit. It's crazy. It's great.
Yeah.
It's good times.
Yeah, definitely. It's natural for you though too, man. I mean, just the way you talk and it flows and everything like that, man.
I make it look easy.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
I said for you.
I make it. You. Well, no, but I make it look easy because they're like, oh, you're natural. You just having fun up there, but it does take a lot of work.
Yeah.
You got it. Like if I didn't have the memorization, because that's what was the most daunting thing about it. I was like, when I would watch Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, I'm like, they didn't look down. I love Deion Cohen. He used to do that joke where he looks down and he reads it and then he tries it. He goes, they like it, and then does this. And it's a great bit. But some comedians do that. They bring a pad of paper up there. And I'm like, that's cheating. You know what I mean? I always want to do it. I used to do that. I used to bring my phone with me and I'd have my set on there and I'd leave it, and it was a safety net. So if I ever drew a blank or something, I'd go take a drink and look down at my phone and I'd go, oh yeah, let's talk about this. But I've never had to use it. It's kind of like how I used to do at auditions. One tip about auditions, I will always give anybody that auditions still to always memorize it. And I say that because if you go on like Actors Access, it'll say memorization not necessary. That is a trick. That is to see if you're going to do your work or not. Always memorize it. Because I don't care how you feel. You ever do something, you're holding the line, you're like, dang it, let me put this down. Okay, let me act now. So I would always memorize it, but I would always bring my script in. And before I start, I drop it right in front of me. So it's there. So if I do get a brain fart, I'll look down. But I never had to look down. Because it's something about just having that net there. You know what I mean? So
sounds like a preacher giving a sermon.
Exactly. Just have it there.
You got the notes right
you
there.
Can go right to it.
You know?
But that's now, the preparation of stand-up now, I have an ebb, I have a flow. Sometimes you freestyle. But then if something new doesn't work, you always got to go, okay, now let me kick it into gear.
Yeah.
Let me go to what I know can work. Let me scan the crowd in case I got to do some of them jokes. Yep, this will work perfect on this one.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So you just never know. You may get a heckler. You may get somebody that's there and just don't like you and bought a ticket that ruins everybody's night.
Yeah.
And you got to know how to handle them with class and not let them throw you. I remember I got on stage one time in Atlanta right before I started. It got quiet. They said, "Remember Omar Gooding?" They clapped. And I was like, "Hey, what's up, y'all?" And then right in that little silence, somebody said, "You better be funny." When he said that, the mother just like echoed, and I was like, "Huh, yeah, man." So look, and I just snapped into it and killed it.
Yeah,
but that could have messed. That could have been that. Unless the person like, "Oh, what, man? Dang, dog, I can't. Can I just get started, bro? You already gonna do but ignore it. Go.
Yeah, facts,
and then when I got off, people kept saying, "Man, I'm glad you was funny, man. We was gonna lock the door on you." And I was like, he's like, "No, we serious. We glad you was funny." I'm like, "All right, man, where the Uber at?"
Yeah. But, forget about it.
Yeah, but it's definitely a dream come true, man.
Yeah,
dream.
Yeah.
I'm checking stuff off the bucket list box. A couple things now in the works, man. Y'all make sure y'all stay tapped in with your boy. OmarGooding.net has everything now. It's got my shows. It's got my movies. It's got the upcoming dates of where I'll be at. And I got a lot of stuff, man, because I got from not only things that are popping up now, but the stuff that I missed by being injured for 3 months.
Yeah.
So my schedule's it's hectic right now.
Yeah.
But it's fun because I got some rest.
Yeah, facts.
3 months is good rest.
Yeah.
And I'm walking now, which is funny. I'd rather walk than sleep.
Yeah.
Something about walking that's just like our bodies are made to walk, man. Not running, not putting the pressure on your 40-year-old, almost 50-year-old knees, but walking. Just I can write and create. As soon as I just get about a mile in, everything clicks. Like, okay, boom, boom, boom. I get so much stuff done down.
Yeah, facts, man. You know, before we get out of here, I want to touch on something really quick because I hear you talk about your mother and you mention it and you even, spoke on it when talking about your son a little bit. You a faithful man, huh? Like I could tell like Absolutely. You into the word. Yeah. You talk about God, you talk about the spiritual side, when it come down to yourself and everything like that. Yeah. Was it your mother that really introduced you to the faith? Like what made you really get deep into the faith and really understand who God is and have a relationship with him?
Absolutely, my mother. So she's a born again Christian, which to be blunt is some of them are pushy, which means, you're not going to have a conversation where she's not trying to have you dedicate your life to the Lord. Yeah. Not one conversation. And it's fine, but there's not even a but. The beauty of it is I got to see, I talked about it earlier, but when I talk about prayer, but I got to see God. Like I got, if she would just say things and then they never happen, that'd be one thing. Even when my dad and her divorced, she's like, "He'll be back. God, I'm praying for my husband. Don't worry about it." And they got remarried like 10 years later. It was crazy. But she prayed everything into existence. Not, some things that are still out there. I'm like, "Mama, that ain't, just knock it off." It's like, you and your baby mama, y'all gonna get married. Mama, just let it go. Got it? It's not in the cards, Mama. It's not in the cards. But no, but it definitely, he speaks loud and it's in everybody. It's in there. It's that voice. It's something, even if when like, what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad. Sometimes you just ignore it. Sometimes you say F it. Sometimes it is what it is, but my advice to people, if you do have faith is don't just pray when you need something, but thank him when it goes right. And things will go right more than not. Yeah. See that it's him when something good happens. Don't be like, "Yeah, I did a good job. Ooh, I killed that. Me. Hell no." If something goes well, oh, thank you, Jesus. You know what? Thank you, because I needed you. And you said, "I got you. Relax." And you go, and you get a calm and you breathe. And that's it. Some people say, "Oh, it's about meditation and slowing and calming down." Sure. Whatever it is, you're listening to something. Yeah. And it's him and he's talking and he's telling you what you need to do. And sometimes you listen, sometimes you don't. It's weird sometimes how he allows things to happen, because that's what I still make mistakes. You kidding me? And I'll go, "What the heck was I thinking? I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing it. What is wrong with me?" Yeah. And then from that, a lesson is learned. And I'm always hard on myself when I make mistakes, because then I can't learn from them if I'm not hard on myself, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's tough. It kind of goes back into raising my kids. I see my oldest. I told him, so it was funny is being physical with him, grabbing him or something, or smacking his, hey, no, man, that don't work as much as I'm very disappointed, man. You let me down. I don't understand why you would do that. And that's tough.
Yes.
I thought I was getting through to you. I don't know what's wrong with you. And then you just leave it be.
That hurt.
And then I hear him crying. You know, it's like, it's okay to cry, man. No, it's all right. But just, you know, I just do be better. They started playing chess. They had a program for my kids to play chess in school, right?
Yeah.
And then he got in trouble. He got in trouble at school, and the teacher called me, and they said, your son was using profanity and cursed out one of the kids. And this was the second time. And I was like, why didn't you call me the first time? And I walked him home, and I was talking to him, and I said, listen, man, you've probably heard me curse, and I know you have. But that's a grown-up thing. But if you're going to do it, be smart about it.
Yeah.
Play chess in real life. Because you gotta be able to look ahead and see the moves down. That's why chess is one of the greatest games ever. Because before you move, you look ahead. If I do that, that's gonna happen, and then that's gonna happen. And what are the possibilities? This can happen, and this can happen. Oh, I can't do that then.
Yeah.
All right, let me do this. The only thing that could happen is this and this. And if this happens, I do that. And if this happens, okay, yeah, let's do this. You know, you gotta play chess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In life. If I make a left here, what happens? I go down there. Oh, I know what that is. Oh, no, never mind. Let's make this right.
Mm-hmm.
It's helpful. It's helpful. And just having faith is, I think it'll help you as parents, just to talk to parents, having faith keeps you from losing your mind. I was talking to another parent, and she was telling me how they got this thing called 360. And it's a device that they put on your kid's phone, and it'll tell you if the kid is in a car with somebody that goes over 70 miles. I said, whoa.
Wow.
I said, I don't even want that. That'll make you lose your damn mind. I don't want that.
Deep.
I want to trust that what I've taught this will help him make the right decisions.
There
I
you
can't
go.
follow him and be hiking the thing and being sticking, blah, blah. You got to trust God. You got to have some faith.
Yeah,
You got to have faith that everything's going to be all right. And if it's not all right, then it'll have to get right. You know, you'll have to, then you got to fight. Then you got to man up, or you got to woman up, or toughen up, or whatever it is. But, you know, as far as faith is concerned, it's about having strong inner man. And that's really strong, because it'll help you. Me, when things, I hate flying. I got like 3 flights coming up. So knock on wood, and God, give it to God. And I say, I can talk all this faith I want. As soon as that turbulence hit, I'll be like, well, it's been good. It's been good. You know, God, thank you for everything. I can't get over it, you know, so it's easier to say than do. Yeah. But practice. Prayer. Thank him.
Yeah, man. Well said, brother. Well said, man. This was amazing, man. I love having to sit down with you, brother. Like we touched on some very important things that I believe that people are gonna be able to learn something from too as well. You know, so that's dope, man. But before we get out of here, any last words? Anything you want to say? Any shout outs?
Yeah, man. Just keep doing, y'all. Keep doing. Just don't. It's we definitely. There's so many things we could have talked about too, and we ran out of time. I get a little bit long winded, but we're living in a crazy time, and we're getting close to the end times, if not in them. And it's just, you know, it is what it is. But you know, I did a song during the pandemic called "You Are Not Alone," and it broke down some people. And you want to go on my YouTube page and. Trust me, it's a good one. And it was, you know, a lot of my lyrics, I go, wow. Like I'll write it and go, dang. They just go through me, and I go, woo. And like, you think you out here by yourself, because that's the thing about the pandemic that was so scary. Everybody thought it was something happening to them, and it was happening to all of us. You're not alone. Yeah. This administration is bizarre. I don't care. It's from the people that see it's bizarre to the people that are supporting it, thinking it's not bizarre. Makes it even more bizarre. Yeah. It is insane. You can't be a supporter of this administration at all and not think that something's wrong. There's no way you could just totally be like, no, that's fine. Like, you don't see this? You don't see this stuff crawling on you? It's bizarre. But some of it's like, oh, it's a matter of opinion. Like, no, is that opinion? This is fact. This is happening, and it's being allowed to happen. And we still got a little more to go to get through it. And you hope we heal. I mean, I've seen people change too. That's the only thing I could come from it. Like people that voted for this administration are like, I didn't vote the second time. You know, I'm saying, well, why'd you vote the first time? And then you hear them out and you go, okay, I get you. I understand. I see what you're saying, you know, and if that were true, then we wouldn't be living through this right now. And that's why you were like, well, I didn't do this time because this man is crazy now. I was like, I don't know about the now part, but you know, politics. And it's funny too, because a lot of Christians are supported. It's tough, man. And it just makes you go, what is the point of all this? You know, with the loss of life. And here's the thing too. I was really scared. Now, I don't get scared and I don't live by fear, but I shouldn't say scared. I was very nervous about the things that I figured would happen under this current stint. And I was just, and there have been some stuff, but not as much as I thought. I was just like, shoot, I hope I'm wrong. Because if they're normalizing hate and they're making people feel comfortable being racist, that's a problem. And I don't think it's gotten there, and hopefully it doesn't. And if it has, at least they're not putting it out there so much that everybody knows about it. There's still too many things happening. And I think it's the same amount of things, but now people are seeing it, like especially after George Floyd. Now, when you see these racial injustices, people are going, oh my God, look at this. It's getting worse. And it's like, no, it's been worse. It's been this bad. Y'all are just now seeing it. And think we as a people just got to be humans. We have to be humans to each other. And it goes both ways. This is the craziest thing about, in my opinion. If they were to tell us right now that we will reverse racism right now, and every black person can own as many white people you want, do whatever you want to them, beat them, torture them, we wouldn't want that. We wouldn't. It's like, don't you want justice for this? That's not justice. All we ever wanted was equality. That's it. Treat me the same as you would treat him. I don't want to be, treat me better.
Yeah.
Better for what? No, I'm not better than them. We're both humans. We're under God. You know what I mean? That's who's better. Everybody else, we all the same. Some just have more, some have less, and they all have ups and downs. And then even people, the richest you can be, and think they have everything, and then they jump out a window. And you'd be like, dang, I thought they had it all. I thought they was doing good. No, because there's always, everyone has demons, and everyone wrestles, you know. Wrestle not with flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places. So, you know, stay locked in, people. Treat yourself. Do unto others. You know what I'm talking about? And just be human, man. Be human.
Facts. Man.
Amen.
Man.
Come on.
Omar Gooding, my boy.
Right. Thank you, my boy.
Man, this was a great one. This was special.
Yeah.
This is really special.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Love you all. It's your boy Paul P. Omar Gooding.
Come on. OG in the building.
Hey.
Lakers.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, we out of here, man. Deuces.
Deuces.
I had to show